things that I need to mention. For your safety information, emergency exits are on your left. And kami mohon untuk Bapak bersedia untuk merubah setting handphone Anda ke silent selama acara dimulai. Dan kami mempunyai acara yang sangat menarik pada hari ini. The IBM and Business Partner Solution Showcase as well as lunch is next door. And we have a great lineup of speakers and SMEs ready to talk to you today. So do talk to them, catch them during the lunch or the networking sessions that we have prepared for you today. Baiklah, tanpa menunggu lebih lama lagi, I would like to invite on stage your host for today. Enjoy the talent of Andrew. Andrew, take it away.
Welcome to the Data and AI Forum by IBM. Put your hands together for your host, entertainer and all-round good guy, Mr. Andrew McKinley.
Hello Jakarta, are you well?
Yeah!
That's exactly the energy I was looking for, that's amazing. Well, hello, my name's Andrew, I'm so excited to be in this wonderful city today. But before we go any further, I need to introduce you to a special guest. Let me introduce you to Andrew. Hello, yes, Andrew. I'm here, Andrew. I'm in Edinburgh, in the UK. Where are you? Jakarta. Jakarta? I love that city. In fact, I'm going there soon. Weird. Anyway, do you remember you have to grab someone from the audience? Oh, yes. Good. Now, I need to grab someone from the audience. There's so many to choose from, and we'll get a few of you up over today. But I feel like a connection over here. This is a good area. Madam, could you stand up? Could you stand up there? Lady, yes, you? Stand up. I think she's going to be perfect for this. Can you give her a warm hand as she joins me on stage? Keep it going. Oh, that's good. The Oscars. Excellent. Keep it going. Right, for everyone, thank you for coming on stage. For everyone, what is your name?
Hello everyone, my name is Santi.
Okay, Santi, am I getting it right? Santi?
Yes.
Good. Which company are you from?
I'm from PT Pacific Satellite Nusantara.
Excellent, okay. So, before today, we've never met before?
Yep, never met me.
She seems happy about that. Good. And we haven't set anything up, we haven't colluded, you know, I haven't given you $20 and said, say this, do that, no? No, not yet. Good. Good. Okay, now, what we're going to do is, all of data and AI is underpinned using numbers, yes? So we're going to start off by generating a random number with my lovely assistant here, okay? So we're going to do that. Can you just hold that for a second? So, we're going to start off with numbers. Now, first of all, what is 4,162 multiplied by 9,271?
Wow, that's like...
I'm only kidding, I'm only joking. We're going to use the calculator. So, don't worry. Okay, so, we're going to use the calculator, and what we're going to do is just give me the day of your month. Of your date of birth. So the day is what day?
My date of birth is like 3rd February.
So the 3rd?
Third,
right?
yeah.
So 3 multiplied
by 2.
2. And multiplied by?
My year is 1993.
93, okay. Just a little bit younger than me. Okay. So we have that at the moment. Can you see that? That's fair, random, so we just multiply it up. But we need an even more random number. So I'm going to place the screen like so, okay? And you're just going to tap with your finger a couple of, without looking at the screen. Do you see the keypad?
Yeah.
With your index finger? You're just going to hit a couple of numbers, okay? And then press equals, and we have a number. Can you see that up on the screen there? So that's fair. And we haven't set anything up?
Where?
We haven't, good. You're going to hold that and you're going to shout out the number to me because I've got a board here. I've got a board here and we're going to record the number for Andrew to do some mind reading. He's from the past, but I'm from the present. Here we go. So what's the first number? If you could just single digits.
3.
3.
3.
3. Excellent. What's the next number?
4.
5 or 4?
4.
4. Okay, good. Next number?
Next number is 4.
4. Okay. Next number?
0.
Doing a great job. And
2. And then 1.
1. So we have a number randomly. Excellent. So we have recorded the number. Andrew from the past is going to ask you a couple of questions now. Okay? So what you're going to do, we no longer need this, is you're going to be quick and clear with your responses. Okay? Excellent. So, excellent. Hello, Andrew. Andrew, are you there? Andrew? Hello? Andrew? Oh, sorry. It's just so fascinating learning how you can accelerate your journey to AI, especially when you see some of the methods and tools IBM will share with you today. Andrew, do you have a participant ready for me? Yes? Oh, hello. What is your name?
Sandy.
Sorry, could you repeat it, please?
Sandy.
Oh, that's a lovely name. A lovely name. Don't say it or show me anything, but do you have a number in mind, yes?
Yep.
Great. I don't want you to say it. Just repeat it to me in your mind. Could you raise up your hand for a second? The left hand. Much better, thanks. Try to transmit the first number. Okay. Now the next few numbers. Wonderful. Isn't she doing a great job? And give yourself a round of applause as well. Okay, think of the last couple of numbers. Is there a 6 in there?
No.
No, sorry. Could you please place up the left hand again? That's better. Back on track. See the final number clearly in your mind's eye. The pen is away. I have committed myself. Could you read out the number you randomly generated some moments before? 3.
3. 3, 4, 4, 0, 2, 1.
344021? Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't get close. I got it. Bang on! Earlier today, you were also thinking of a city far from Indonesia, yes?
Yep.
I thought so. Okay, focus on this city. If I've tuned into it correctly, IBM are holding a big summit there next year. Loud and clearly, what was the city that entered into your mind even before you stepped on the stage?
I think it's Rome.
Rome. Rome! R-O-M-E. Rome! Wow, how about that? Thank you! I can also predict that IBM are going to help you with your understanding and execution of data and AI. Lastly, thank you for your time. Speaking of time, as I'm from the past, my time with you has expired. Thank you and goodbye. Thank you very much, guys. Give Santi a massive round of applause for helping out. Santi, everyone. Excellent. Thank you for your attention this morning. Our next guest drinks 8 litres of water a day, as he believes it gives him health and vitality. Tanwajaya with the opening address. Thank you. Tan, everyone.
Selamat pagi Bapak dan Ibu sekalian. Terima kasih sudah hadir di acara pagi hari ini. Tadi saya lihat jam 8-an sudah pada ngumpul semua. So thank you and give a big applause to all of you ya. Thank you. Dalam kesempatan pagi ini saya ingin menyapa dulu beberapa key speaker kita dari klien kami yang akan berbicara tentang bagaimana journey data dan AI yang mereka lakukan di company mereka. Pertama-tama saya ingin menyapa Pak Komang dari PT Telkom. Thank you Pak sudah datang. Pak Komang sangat ahli di bidang digital platform dan enabler ya. Lalu juga ada Pak Handika dari Bank Mandiri yang fokus banyak di analytics dan campaign. Lalu ada juga Pak Muklis, tadi saya ngobrol dari Direktur Pevindo yang sangat kuat di data risk dan governance yang akan sharing kita tentang risk dan governance dari segi data. Lalu yang terakhir juga nanti ada juga session dari Pak Purwadi ya yang akan di-guide oleh rekan-rekan IBM. Pak Purwadi berasal dari BPPT, jadi BPPT juga dekat dari segi AI. Nah, selain itu juga kita punya panelis baik dari Liana yang akan guide teman-teman sekalian. Tapi juga kita punya banyak tamu-tamu kita dari ASEAN dan AP. Kita ada dari Joan dari Watson AI, lalu juga ada Martin Chi dari Analytics AP, lalu juga ada Sandip Baski Software AP Cikim dari ASEAN ya. Lalu dan banyak lagi dari rekan-rekan IBM yang akan sharing dari segi knowledge bagaimana kita bisa membantu klien kami dari segi journey ke data dan AI ya. Tanpa berpanjang-panjang, saya minta clickernya. Ini adalah koran potongan yang ada di tahun 1991 ya. Kalau kita lihat di koran ini banyak sekali diposting adalah penjualan adanya komputer, adanya radio, adanya banyak tipe yang lainnya, baik dari segi perekam suara ya. Tapi hari ini semuanya sudah bisa kita handle dengan satu handphone. Bayangkan satu kepingan koran hari ini sudah semua device elektroniknya sudah bergabung jadi satu. So the power of technology begitu cepat yang kita rasakan saat ini, dan kita bisa lihat adalah saat ini kalau dulu kita di orang IT kita ngobrol tentang bos kita, email problem biasa mereka nggak terlalu bermasalah. Tapi semenjak zaman BlackBerry di mana email sudah ada di handphone, sekarang kita akan sulit mengatakan email itu bukan bagian keseharian. Dan banyak lagi contoh yang lainnya. Net adalah saat ini kita kalau tidak berlomba-lomba dari segi data dan AI, kita akan kalah dalam persaingan. Dan apa yang menarik adalah IBM sudah mendefine kalau kita saat ini sudah masuk ke chapter 2. Jadi chapter 1 sudah berlalu, di mana kita baru coba-coba eksperimental. Mana use case-nya, mana yang harus kita jalankan. Hari ini kita sudah fokus adalah bagaimana kita bisa melakukan implementasi yang jauh lebih cepat dan skala yang jauh lebih tinggi. Dengan cara seperti ini, inovasinya sudah lagi tidak berasal dari luar. Kita lihat, ada perkembangan apa di luar, lalu kita coba inovasi. Tapi inovasinya sekarang sudah mulai masuk dari segi dalam ke luar. Apa yang kita miliki, apa yang kita understand menjadi suatu competitive advantage yang kita bisa lakukan supaya berkompetisi dengan yang lain. Jadi perkembangannya sangat tinggi sekali dari outside in sekarang juga menjadi inside out. Ya. Lalu yang lain adalah dunia sekarang beraneka ragam. Definitely cloud menjadi satu area yang menjadi tulang belakang bagaimana data dan AI bisa diimplementasi. Dan solusi yang IBM punya saat ini mempunyai flavor ke teman-teman sekalian. Apakah Anda mau implementasi di private cloud, di hybrid cloud, di public cloud? Kita punya semua solusi itu. Jadi tidak usah pusing, kita punya solusi dari beraneka ragam location-nya. Sekilas tentang IBM dan Indonesia, kita bisa lihat IBM sudah ada dari tahun 37 di Indonesia dan kita continue untuk membantu rekan-rekan sekalian. Dan hari ini kita undang beberapa klien kita yang melakukan journey dari segi transformasi ini. Tapi kalau terkait Indonesia, kita bisa lihat populasi kita begitu besar, pemerintah Indonesia juga sudah announce mereka akan bangun 3.500 startup dalam waktu yang sangat dekat 4-5 tahun ke depan. Ini menjadi suatu potensi yang sangat bagus. In fact, satu menterinya juga dari startup company ya. Jadi kita bisa lihat bagaimana fokus kita bisa berkompetisi, tapi juga speed itu menjadi penting sekali. Jadi bukan lagi yang besar memakan yang kecil, tetapi siapa yang lebih cepat yang akan memakan yang lebih pelan. Jadi game plan-nya sangat berbeda sekali dibanding sebelumnya. Oke, berapa saat yang lalu kita bisa menyelesaikan akuisisi kita terhadap Red Hat, ya. Dengan kita akuisisi terhadap Red Hat, memungkinkan semua solusi kita bisa dibangun dalam bentuk microservices dan container dan sudah cloud ready. Ini membantu untuk rekan-rekan sekalian supaya bisa memindahkan dari segi solusinya apakah di private, apakah di public, ataupun kedua-duanya. Ini memungkinkan sekali. Dan hari ini kita banyak akan bicara tentang Watson Anywhere, satu contoh use case yang kita bisa lihat. Ya. Oke. Ini saja dari saya, tapi sebelumnya ada satu lagi, check it this out. Bisa play videonya?
Selamat pagi. Selamat datang di acara IBM Data and AI Forum. Nama saya IBM Watson. Saya sedang belajar bahasa. Ibu Joanna, apakah Anda dapat tujuri saya?
Okay, thank you. Enjoy the event.
Selamat pagi. Selamat datang di acara IBM Data and AI Forum. Nama saya IBM Watson. Saya sedang belajar bahasa. Ibu Joanna, apakah Anda dapat tujuri saya?
Thanks, Tan. Next, we have Dr. Joanna Patstone. Dr. Joanna Patstone, over here. Thank you for joining us on stage.
Thank you, Andrew.
Oh, you're on? Brilliant. Okay. Before Joanna enthralls you with an amazing presentation, I just want to try something with Joanna.
Uh-oh.
Joanna, I think you and everyone else in this room would agree that it's the data that's important, right?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Without that, we're kind of screwed, right? But here I have a Rubik's Cube. If we could, for 1 second, make a parallel between data and the data in this cube. You see, there are 43 quintillion different color combinations of this. So if this was 43 quintillion pieces of information, that would be a lot to sort through, wouldn't it?
Massive amount.
Excellent. Dr. Joanna, you're just going to join me up on this spot here. And what you're going to do is with your left hand, and just to clarify, we haven't set anything up.
No, absolutely.
But we have met yesterday, to be fair. Okay. Now, I think that you may be discussing this effect later on. So, I would like you to remember two distinct things when you're discussing it. That there's one cube, and it's far away from any pockets, so there can't be a switch. Also, you can clearly see that it is jumbled up. Okay? So what you're going to do is, can I have your left hand? Excellent. You're just going to take the cube. In your mind's eye, and keep with your eyes closed, you're just going to imagine, Dr. Joanna, that you have a blue sky in front of you. Use your imagination. You see a giant Rubik's Cube in the sky,
Okay.
but the Rubik's Cube is starting to spin.
Okay.
Very fast. But now it starts to slow down. As it slows down, you see in your mind's eye the colours starting to solve. So all that data has been sorted and organised. Keep your eyes closed, but could you bring the cube in front of you, high in the sky, high in the sky? Open up your eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Joanna.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you. So that was amazing, right? Seems like magic. It is magic. So thank you, all of you, for joining us here today at the Data and AI Forum in Jakarta, Indonesia. And my role today is to help you understand that in fact AI is not magic, but AI can enable you, your companies, all of us, with superpowers that will enable us to transform our business and our world moving forward. So I'm going to put this magic cube to one side for the moment, but we're going to talk about the magic cube later in this presentation. AI fundamentally has the power to transform the way your organization works. And how do we do that? In fact, because AI does enable you with superpowers. Now you may think that's strange, right? Superpowers. What does that mean? Well, if we think about the advances in AI technology that we're already seeing today, I want to give you some examples of where AI today is already accelerating our technology transformation into the future. Some of you may have had the opportunity to see our Project Debater in action. This is an AI system that earlier this year at our big Think conference in San Francisco engaged in a live debate with human champion debaters to enable us to demonstrate the power and the capability of AI to engage in real human engagement style of conversation and interaction. And it's a fabulous way to think about the way that AI is transforming and enhancing our human capabilities. Another great example of how AI is enabling us to transform the world that we live in today is by thinking about how can AI transform the life of an astronaut. Imagine you are an astronaut up on the International Space Station. It's perhaps lonely up there. Simon is an astronaut's companion, a crew interactive mobile companion, built in partnership with Airbus and the German Space Agency. Simon has Watson inside. Simon has AI capabilities that engage in a dialogue and conversation with an astronaut. So AI is helping astronauts in space. That's not magic, that's real. That's providing the astronaut now with a set of capabilities and superpowers to enable them to do their job, but more effectively, even if they're up in space. Now, when we think about superpowers, it's natural to think about superheroes, maybe comic book superheroes. And one of the main characteristics of all of the superheroes that you may think of, all of those comic book heroes, is that all of those superheroes have what we call an origin story. Something that is core to their being. Characteristics of the values of them as an individual. So if you think about some superheroes that you'll probably recognize, superheroes bitten by a spider, blinded by a chemical spill, subjected to medical tests. How many of you think you can identify all of the superheroes characterized by these images today? Probably most of you can get Spider-Man, right? So the characteristic of a superhero is not that they suddenly became the superhero as a result of an event, but the incident or the characteristic of these events enabled them to be empowered with superpowers. And in fact, that's what AI can enable for business. That's what AI can enable for employees, your clients, is that this combination of AI-enabled strength and power alongside that core value of the individual and the individual company. It's fundamentally about the core values. So as we think about how AI can help you with your business, think about what your origin story is. What are the central values that are unique to you and your company that we can enhance and accelerate and explore leveraging AI? So let me give you a couple of client stories of the client's origin story that with AI really enables them to generate those superpowers to accelerate their business transformation. AI is giving us this ability to transform, to expand those core values that are unique to us. Let's talk about the Royal Bank of Scotland. This is a very large institutional bank in the United Kingdom and Ireland. Now, they've been in business for over 260 years. So imagine that, in that time period, several centuries, they've had to undergo many different business transformations during their lifetime as a company. But their origin story, their core commitment, is around value and excellence in customer service. So how does AI improve that? What is the Royal Bank of Scotland's origin story? With the Royal Bank of Scotland, they reached out to IBM to leverage our Watson Assistant technology to develop a series of virtual agents powered by Watson Assistant. And with the Royal Bank of Scotland, they were able to see a significant number of inbound customer queries that would traditionally come into their call center and be handled by an agent. They were able to build out a series of virtual assistants that could handle that inbound call center volume. In fact, 40% now handled automatically by a Watson Assistant agent. So what impact does that have? How does that help them drive business value for their clients, for their customers? The impact for them was, as they built out the virtual assistants, they were able to significantly improve their customer satisfaction scores. Significantly improve. And they measured this through Net Promoter Scores. And so they saw this 20% improvement in Net Promoter Score. Now remember, their origin story was around customer excellence. That has been a focus for them. With AI and with Watson Assistant, they were able to transform their business, maintain that relationship and focus with their customers, and improve the overall customer digital experience, leveraging Watson Assistant for their call center transformation. Let's look at another example in a different industry. Geisinger, maybe some of you in the audience know, but a healthcare company, health services provider. The origin story for a health company is very much around how do I help people with their health? How do I get better? How do I monitor disease? How do I identify risk associated with disease? And so Geisinger's story was very much around a human condition associated with sepsis, infected blood and poisoning. And so what they were really interested in here was, could they use data science and data analytics and AI to identify patterns in their data sets that were indicators of patients with a higher risk of sepsis. So with Watson Studio, they were able to model their data sets, build models around characteristics of risk factors for their patients, and help identify the profiles of patients who were more likely to be susceptible to sepsis in the future. So Andrew mentioned big data and AI and analytics. This is a great example of analysis of that patient data set with Watson Studio, building models to be able to identify those patients at risk. So what outcome does that have? The reality for Geisinger is that against their own origin story around the desire to provide better healthcare for their patients, optimized personalized care for their patients. AI, with Watson Studio, now enables Geisinger to develop much more customized and optimized plans for patients that hopefully enables them to recover faster and minimizes the risk associated with sepsis. Again, in both of these examples, AI is helping accelerate, transform, improve, augment the human ability to do the work. So AI is enabling these institutions to generate superpowers. And as we think about your business, think about your own origin story. Now let me come back to this Rubik's Cube example that Andrew gave us. AI is not a magical black box. I know this one is not black. But AI is not a magical black box. AI gives us the ability to do incredible things. But the important thing about AI is we need to be able to understand what's under the cover of this black box. We need to be able to open up the black box. So what is AI really? I'm going to put this down again. So IBM Watson is IBM's AI platform. AI is really about, fundamentally for business, these three things: predictions, the ability to improve our ability to predict what's going to happen next in our business. It's about automation. Automation of everyday tasks, whether that's automation of loan approvals or mortgage approvals, automation within the call center. And it's about optimization, and optimization of business processes enabled by AI. That's AI for business and business transformation. AI for business-to-business interaction. And for all of you, as you think about how we can help you improve your predictive capabilities, enable automation within your business, enable the optimization of your business processes, then AI can help you with that. We get asked many times, what is Watson? Watson is IBM's AI platform. But what is Watson? Let me tell you first what it's not. Watson is not a consumer device. So it's not Siri or a Google Assistant or an Alexa. It's not the assistant device. Watson is AI for business-to-business interactions. Serious, heavyweight, industrial strength, business transformation. Watson AI enables us to transform business. And in fact, most of you have probably seen Watson in action without really realizing you're experiencing Watson AI behind the scenes. Watson's been used to help provide optimal fan experiences in major sporting events around the world, whether it's the video highlights for a large tennis tournament, video highlights for World Cup soccer, video highlights for American football. The ability to interact with and manage vast amounts of video data with AI is something that IBM enables. We've talked about the Royal Bank of Scotland's virtual assistants, but many of you are probably interacting with a Watson virtual agent with Watson Assistant, with many of the companies that you do business with, particularly with respect to online retail applications. Some of you may be driving new cars that are built with thousands and thousands of sensors in them. And we have Watson virtual assistants embedded in cars to help you understand and predict maintenance issues within your vehicle, or perhaps provide a virtual assistant to help you understand what it means when that check engine light comes on the dashboard. AI is already doing real work in business today. So I've told you what Watson is not, but what is Watson? Watson is really three things that I think it's important for us to understand. First of all, Watson is a set of tools and capabilities to enable companies like yourselves to build, run, and manage your AI solutions for yourselves. So a set of tools. Watson's also a set of pre-built applications. We recognize from an adoption and maturity perspective, not all of you are necessarily ready to build your own AI solutions. And so we've developed a series of pre-built packaged applications for Watson that enable you to accelerate that business transformation. And then the third element here is around, in essence, embedding machine learning and AI in your existing solutions, in your existing products, in our business partner solutions, in our other products. And so Watson, three things, take away those three things: tools, pre-packaged applications, and AI inside, infusing solutions with AI capability. Let's dive into each one of these in a little bit more depth. With Watson tools, Watson machine learning, Watson Studio, Watson catalog, this gives you the ability to build and design your own AI applications. And perhaps what many of you might not realize is that within our tooling environment and runtimes, about 85% of the capability within this tool set is provided with open source. Many of you will know that the lifeblood of AI is also within the open source community, and so we want to bring together the best of all of those AI capabilities, both the ones that we've built and the ones within the broader open source community, and support them with our Watson tools set of capabilities with Studio, Watson machine learning, and catalog. So how do you decide if you're ready to build your own AI or buy your AI? It can be a tough decision for many of you from a maturity curve perspective. Do you have the right skills within your organization? So for those of you who are interested in looking for help in building AI solutions, we've developed a series of pre-packaged Watson applications. I've already mentioned Watson Assistant that enables us to help transform the call center experience, but also Watson Discovery, and then additional new applications around embedding AI within some of our offerings, open pages with Watson for the RegTech industry. So if you're interested in taking some of the pre-packaged capabilities that we've built, we'd love to accelerate that journey with you. Now, in addition, here in region, we leverage the support that we get from our IBM services teams, as well as our partners here in region, where we can help customize and build and enhance the solutions that we bring to market in partnership with our services and partners teams. With respect to embedding into third-party solutions, particularly with respect to the partner community here in region, we can work with you to bring the AI capabilities into new solution areas. And this is very important in the context of thinking about how do I integrate in with my existing core business processes today. We can embed AI within your business processes as we think about automating your core business, embedding AI into your core business. In addition, we've built out a number of partnerships with large software vendors themselves, where we go to market together with business partner solutions embedded with AI. And so this is a core part of the success around how we accelerate that journey to realizing superpowers with AI. So one of the things that I'd ask you to think about is, what is your origin story? I've given you some examples today. The Royal Bank of Scotland with this intense focus on excellence with respect to customer service. The healthcare company whose origin story is around improving the health and wellness and outcome of their patients. We have a series of capabilities and tools to enable you to accelerate your business transformation. But I would ask each one of you to think about, what is your origin story? For you, perhaps as an individual, more importantly, perhaps for you and your business and your company. Because what AI enables for you is the ability to accelerate that transformation, supercharge with AI superpowers that core business value that is associated with your company, your brand, your institution. Now, not all of you may know what your origin story is today, and we can help you with that. Based on our experience in working with many different clients, we've developed some methodologies around how we can help you lay out a business strategy to build a business case around how AI can help you transform your business with superpowers. And one of the ways we do that is to help you get started with building a business case. An AI business case for your business, for your company, for your executives, to show the path forward on how AI can transform your business with superpowers. Now here today we have many experts on the IBM team available to help consult with you around building your AI business case. For those of you who are interested in this journey around transforming business with AI, please contact us at the back of the room as you leave the session today. We have people on site today who can help accelerate with workshops how to move forward with building this AI journey. So I want to leave you with a few key thoughts. What is your origin story? Think about your superpower journey. Watson is 3 things. Tools that enable you to build your own AI, a set of pre-packaged Watson applications, and the ability to embed AI in new solutions that enable us to jumpstart this journey. So remember, AI is not the black box, but we can use AI to unpack the intelligence that's locked up in your data. That data journey of complexity that Andrew simplified for us, that data journey of complexity enabled by AI will give you superpowers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Joanna, once again. Great presentation. It's good that you got that Royal Bank of Scotland example in there. Thank you for that. That was just for me. Right, next we have Martin, who has a twin brother. But one thing that can't be replicated is Martin's enthusiasm for data and AI. His presentation is Make Your Data Ready for AI. Martin, everyone.
Thank you for being here.
Cannot hear you.
I can hear the mic. It's great to be here. Again, my name is Martin, and I'm so privileged to be here with you at this AI, Data and AI Forum. Thank you for gracing this occasion with your presence. Now, Joanna was talking about AI, and in a recent study conducted by PricewaterhouseCoopers, they projected that by 2030, or actually in 2030, AI will contribute $15.7 trillion to the global economy. That's a lot of numbers. It's an astounding number. I don't even want to know how to compute that and translate that to rupiah. It's a huge number. Now, if you think about it, AI has been around for quite some time. And it's only recently that we can start to see how AI can be engaged and leveraged at scale. At scale. And that's the key point. The thing is, why has it taken so long? It's actually quite surprising. And the three issues which keep on coming up when we talk to analysts and we talk to our clients as well as business leaders. These 3 issues are data, the complexities of managing data. Secondly, trust or inability to trust AI. And thirdly, skills. So I'll cover three in turn, but let me start with data. Data, if you think about it, is really the lifeblood of AI. Data and AI are two sides of the same coin. If you're not able to address and take control of the complexities of your data, your journey to AI clearly will be slowed down. The challenge is, if businesses want to harness the value of AI, they need to use a diverse set of data. Data which can sit across the enterprise, on-prem, on the cloud, in different domains. 80% of the data that we have today is not available, not accessible, not trusted. We don't know where it's from. It's not in a business-ready format, which is ready for AI. And that is a huge challenge. Enterprises are sitting on a wealth of data, but they are just not able to extract the value that they want from the data. In a recent study by MIT, another surprising fact: 81% of the respondents don't even understand the data as well as the infrastructure required for them to be successful in AI. 81%. So $15.7 trillion is the opportunity. 81% don't understand how they will reach and grab that opportunity. And that's what we're going to talk to you today about at this Data and AI Forum. Our point of view at IBM is there can be no AI without IA. IA here referring to an information architecture. So there can be no AI without an information architecture. We've developed a prescriptive approach to help our clients very rapidly move out and accelerate the journey to AI. And we call this the AI ladder. Now this AI ladder is actually it's a very important framework. What it does is it lays out for any enterprise, any business, the important steps, the important capabilities required to be successful in your AI journey. Every step is important. From being able to collect the data, being able to break down the silos, easily access the data that you have within your organization, to being able to organize that data. Do you have the ability to know what data you have? Is your data categorized? Is it governed? Do you know where it's from? Do you know how it's been transformed from origin to where it is today? Do you have the skill, the tools to analyze that data? The tools to build your AI models, and to do that widely across your entire enterprise. And finally, do you have the ability to infuse the AI that you create into all your business process and applications? And I mean all. Broad scale adoption of AI. Now, in IBM, we help our clients accelerate their journey to AI with an AI portfolio which is open and built for the multi-cloud world. And that's a critical point. Imagine that you're able to virtualize the data wherever it sits in any domain. You don't need to move the data to the AI. You want to be able to move and conduct your data, your AI work where the data is. Move your AI to data. Imagine being able to govern access to that data. So these two things, being able to virtualize and govern that data access, immediately lowers and drops the barrier to AI adoption very rapidly. Now, once you've got access to that data, there's more work that needs to be done. Do you have the ability to quickly prepare the data for AI, get it ready? Do you have the ability to build your models, to run your models, to manage your models? So what we're really talking about is moving ahead. What you need is to modernize your data and your infrastructure. Modernize, you want a modern information architecture, which is built for an AI and multi-cloud world. Only doing this will you be able to embrace AI. Embrace AI. Now, we've got an amazing platform. A platform where we've integrated all these very important capabilities. One platform which you can build, deploy on-prem or on the cloud. We call it Cloud Pack for Data. Now I'd like to invite my colleague, Dian, to come on board to take us through Cloud Pack for Data. Dian, let me pass it to you.
Thanks, Martin. Good morning. Now, this is a system that we built for one of our clients. The name is iCure, it's a non-profit organization, and their mission is to reach out to certain countries where medical care is very much in demand, right? In some countries, we're talking about 6,000 people to one doctor. In this case, it's about a heart specialist, a cardiologist, which is even more rare, right? So instead of just randomly getting the patient to see a doctor, what they've done is to build a predictive model to be able to predict if somebody, a patient, right, it's more likely to have a higher risk of a heart disease and get a higher priority to see a doctor. And that's the background of this demo that I'm going to show. So if we could play the video for the demo, please. So this is the login screen. I'm going to log in as a data scientist. Right? Key the name, password, and I'm going to log in into the Cloud Pack for Data system where I built my model. Now, when you log in, you are presented with a dashboard of the models you're monitoring, the jobs you're running, the data assets that form the model, and so on. Right? So right on top is the models I'm monitoring, the accuracy, and to detect if any of these models are biased. Right? It is running as it should. Okay? So here I've detected something is biased. Right? This model, the risk of cardiac risk is biased, and it says that male is biased for the male. So I'm going to look at the model. So I've collected data, right? Of all the modeling that I've done, right? All the transactions I've done in the last 1 week, and the system is telling me the last 2 days, right? It's showing symptoms that my model is biased, where the male is more biased. What do I mean? Out of the 1,008 cases for male, right, only 36% is lower risk. For the female, right, out of the 2,680, only 80% are low risk. So let me take a look at the model details. That's where the data is coming from, how it was cleaned up, what the model is doing to build that predictive or machine learning model. And looking at the data, like iCure WIMS, that's where one of the sources of the data coming in is detecting that, the data, the source data, out of all the source data, 760 are female and 2,000 are male. So I have a lot of male data coming in. So one of the ways that I could verify this is go out and find out if there are other data sets that I could use to verify my models. And I can do this by doing a search, right? I search for cardio type of data. And in the Cloud Pack for Data, there's industry data, industry models that I can use. And there's a heart and vascular disease analysis. So you will pull the data out from there, right? And there are data sets, the algorithms. These are not the ones that I built. These are the ones found in the industry that's available. Right? So I'm taking a look at what the algorithms can do because of data sets. Okay? So there's a data set there that's pulling out from other places, not my own data, and they are suitable for usage. At the same time, I'm going to run my own data across using other people's algorithms, right? To make sure that my data is not biased as well. Right? So there's algorithm available in the industry data set as well. Right? So this is the algorithm that's presented. Okay, so now I'm going to create a project to verify my model. Okay, and that's the data. But first of all, I'm going to pull in the data that I have collected over the last few years and using virtualized data, meaning the data sits where it is. I'm not going to pull the data out. I'm going to get data from MySQL, right? And then select the data set, ICure, WIMS. So this is the data I have. But I also have some data sitting on the cloud on Amazon. Right? Again, I'm going to pull this out and join them together. Right? This is a virtual view of the data as like you mean. Right? So I'm not going to pull the data to me physically. It's staying where it is, but I can view it and build my project. Right? Right? So I'm going to run this new data that I've created, the virtualized data, across the third-party algorithm to make sure that my data is not biased. Okay, so using a visual way of building models, right? Now I'm going to pull in my data and run it across the third-party tool. Okay, this is the data that I've just created, the virtualized data. And now I'm going to run it across the third-party algorithms and make a comparison, right, of other people's data and my data. What's the difference? So you can see, right? May it be the third-party data or my own data running on a third-party algorithm. It seems that the male is biased. So bad luck, guys in this room. There's a higher risk of heart disease for us. Right? But that's what the data is telling us. Right? So back to you, Martin.
So Ian was talking about really the topic of trust, which is the next area of challenge when it comes to scaling out and deploying and using data AI at scale. Stephen Covey has this to say about trust. He says, trust is the glue of life. Without trust, people interactions, business, you can forget about that. Likewise, with AI. If we are unable to trust the AI and the decisions being made out of your AI models, you will have no comfort in deploying them. Now, we want to take a bit more time talking about this point because it's important. Before a model can be put into production, regulations in your market will require that you will explain the data model. A simple example of a loan origination application. If the bank decides to embed AI to improve the productivity and improve the quality of this application, good governance, good and sound business practice will require that you be able to explain how this loan origination application decided to either approve or reject the loan. So it's important, as Joanna mentioned, for AI to be broadly used and deployed, we need to break open that black box of AI. We need to remove those barriers which regulations present. We need to basically be able to trust AI. And that's why we came up with an offering which we call Watson OpenScale, which is what Dian showed you. Watson OpenScale does three things. It helps you understand the decisions which are being made by your AI models. It also gives you an understanding of the data which is being used by the model. You saw that in the demonstration which Dian took you through. It also highlights the risks which may be inherent in your AI model. Now, Joanne talked about sporting events. And every year in July, Wimbledon is held. This year, 2019, we saw Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic in an epic duel, a 5-set duel. Obviously, Novak Djokovic won this year's Wimbledon. Now, we've been in IBM long-term sponsors of Wimbledon. While these exciting matches were at play, we put Watson to work at Wimbledon. With Watson, we built an AI application which allows the organizers to very, very quickly pick up the most exciting match points and shots of a game, of a match, so that the highlights of this match can be very, very quickly provided at the end of the match. Now, I personally love Rafael Nadal. He's my favorite player. I love his passion, I love the raw power which he displays when he's playing tennis. But that's my opinion. I'm biased. So if you think about it, if this AI application were me, the only highlights would be highlights of Rafael Nadal, which is not great. So we put Watson OpenScale to work as well in this AI application. In this application, the AI model will score certain measurable attributes. And what Watson OpenScale does is it will normalize, remove some of these factors. For example, the sound of clapping. If the sound of clapping is used by the AI model to predict which is the most exciting match, then clearly the player with the largest fan base and the most number of spectators will have the most highlighted shots, which is not good because we want to see all games. We want to see highlights of all players. So this way, Watson OpenScale gives us a much, much richer set of highlights. In the same way, when you deploy Watson OpenScale into your business, you get a much better result. And that's what we want to do. Let me move on to the next point, which is skills. Very important consideration. In the excitement about deploying AI within the enterprise, one thing which comes up all the time is the lack of skills. I can't find data scientists. In fact, sometimes they're just non-existent. I was with a CEO in Korea, of a large Korean conglomerate. And he told me that he has a team of 200 data scientists working in his organization. Fairly large team, quite impressive. But he's saying, not enough. I can't do what I need to do with 200 people. I need to do more. I need AI to be pervasive within my organization. His plan is to train not 200, not 2,000, but 20,000 citizen data scientists. Effectively, everyone in the organization will be involved in AI. That's what we mean when we say deploying AI at scale. AI is not something to be relegated to a data science department. AI, for it to truly transform our business, as I was saying, needs to be embedded in every application, in every process of your business. And we have the ability to do that. The challenge is skills. So in IBM, what we do is we clearly work with standards bodies to come up with certifications. We create training materials. We even have a group of what we call data science elite members. And they are available to all of you at no charge. Their role is to help clients identify a use case and put their first model, AI model, from that use case into production to help you get started on your journey to AI. But that's not enough. As I say, how do you broadly make data AI available? In order to do that, we need to lower the barrier. We need to make sure that the technology which is available for use in AI is made accessible to all. Joanne talked about superpowers. How do we give superpower skills to an average data scientist? How do we give superpower skills to your citizen data scientist? There are many tasks involved in the AI process. Many of these tasks are repetitive in nature, manual in nature. How do you make sure that we can automate those tasks so that your data scientist, your precious resource, is able to focus on true value-add tasks? So that's what we want to talk to you about next, Auto AI. We've built it within Cloud Pak for data, right? It's an amazing set of tools which are available to you. So Dian, can I invite you back on stage to talk about Auto AI?
Thanks, Martin. So, now, for data scientists in the room, you will know that this is what you typically have to do when you talk about machine learning, right? You need to find out the facts, you need to clean up the data, gather the data, then endless model selection, feature engineering, parameter optimization, all of which are very time consuming. Right? So what Auto AI wants to do is to take away all of this, to do all this automatically for you. Right? All you need to do is specify the data, specify what you want to predict, and the machine takes over. So let me show you again a video, a demo of how this is done. We play the video, please. Right? So all you need to do now is select the data, which I'm using marketing campaign file. Right? It automatically looks at the data. Right? We can take a look at the preview of the data. Right? So it has age, and various things, and most importantly, the subscribe, which is our predictive field. Right? So all we need to do now is to specify, learn from this set of data whether the customer will subscribe or not. Okay, that's what I want to predict. Automatically, it decides what kind of prediction type, and I'm going to run the experiment. That's all the user needs to do. Everything else now is done by the system. It takes a look at the data, decides how much data to do for testing, verification, for training, okay? And then looks at all the algorithms out there, right? Which one is most suitable for this particular type of data, okay? And then run through all of this algorithm automatically, right? Without human intervention, okay? And even do things like cleaning up the data, adding features to the data so that the accuracy can be further improved. Right? So all of this are done across various algorithms, across the various data sets. So it's going to take a little while. Okay. Cleaning of the data, training of the data, okay, and then for different algorithms. And notice at the bottom here, right? All the best algorithm is always ranked, right? Number one, and then it continues to run. And when better algorithm come out, it goes up the rank. Okay, so now we've decided, or more or less, this LGBM, like gradient boost, is the best, right? After comparing with all the different models, the system is able to recommend that's the number one model. You can look at more details by clicking on the particular model, And you can see, oh, that's the analysis of the results. I can look at the confusion matrix, right? And which feature is important, right, to create a model, right? So now I have the model, what can I do with it? Of course, I can save it as a model. For a citizen data scientist, you save it as a model and you can deploy the model with one click. But for the real data scientists, people who like to code, you can even save it as a notebook, and from there, kickstart your machine learning building process. Right? So you save a lot of time and effort to do the mundane thing, but you jump straight to the most relevant model, saving you time and the effort. Thank you.
Thank you, Sayed. So you want to talk about three things, right? About what Watson is. Watson is about building your own AI, and we've taken you through the three things which are often impediments, barriers to driving wide-scale adoption of AI. Data, trust, skills. We believe that we've got the capabilities to help our clients accelerate their journey to AI. We also obviously have really built AI to help you truly accelerate and to take advantage of unique capabilities of Watson. So, in closing, let me just say that we are here to partner you. We believe we've got the best set of tools in the market to help you on your AI journey. We'll partner you, we'll help you get started. We want all of you to look at that goal, that $15.7 trillion goal, and to capture a part of that. So thank you very much for your kind attention, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Our next speaker famously bungee jumped blindfolded. Dian, everyone. Luckily, he's using the smart option today, the stairs, with open is smart and smart is open. Dian, everyone.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Very exciting to be here, Selamat pagi. I think you can see that we have some great skills in this region here to help you on your AI and data journey. I'm going to talk a little bit about the underpinnings today of that, which is our approach to cloud. It seems like we've got a little bit of noise going on. Let's try this again. Everyone still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So I'm going to talk a little bit about digital transformation. This is something talked about a lot in the marketplace. I'm going to talk about some of the underpinnings of that and how to get started. Now, many of you have begun your journeys. You've played around a little bit with AI at this point. How many have had an AI experiment or begun testing your organization? Okay, there's 3 of us in the room who have done that, so many of you will start on that. And it'll help you. And part of it is about how do we get to personalization? How do we improve the experience for our customers, our end users? How do they get a better experience and get more outcomes? And you'll use technologies like IoT. Maybe you'll play with blockchain and see how that you can create a new ledger that cannot be edited, that can help us get to better versions of the truth, track our information in a sounder way, in a quicker way, in a more transparent way. Maybe it'll be more security, cybersecurity to protect us as we deploy IoT devices, and we want to make sure that nobody's breaking into the organization. So you'll get to trialing, you'll get to experimentation, and that's where most of the market is at. It's very early days. Now, the leaders are out there. They're moving quickly. They're putting mobile phone applications out. They're starting to move, and about 20% of applications have now gone onto the public cloud. But only 20%. It's very early days. A lot of mission-critical applications are still sitting in the data centers. They're still sitting in a very private environment. And we all want to see how we can move those, how we can connect them so that we can take advantage of all of the data that's locked up in those applications. How can we bring that to the fore to provide a better client experience? So this place where we're at, we've called chapter 1 for want of a better term, but that's chapter 1. As we move to chapter 2 though, we're going to want to move this to scale. We want to find a way to unleash that data to provide better client experience, better outcomes. It's all about the chase of a better client experience. And what we're finding is the clients aren't doing this just on one cloud. How many in the room here use more than one cloud already in your environment? So only 3 of you are doing that. Well, data will say that most organizations in the end will use somewhere between 8 or 9 clouds. You'll be using a combination of private cloud, you'll be using public clouds, you'll be using SaaS-based applications, and you're going to want to move between these. You're going to want to move data between them, applications between them. You're going to want to use a combination of public and private and hybrid. And all of this underpinned, as Martin said so well there, by the glue that is trust. You're going to want to know that that information is secure, that that information is true, and that information is complete. Trust is going to be the underpinning of all of that. And we call this chapter 2. And that's what I'm going to talk about a bit today. So chapter 2 is all about orchestrating business expertise, the data, and the technology. Bringing all of that together to provide our people with a better way to work to deliver better outcomes for their clients. Now I want you to think about this, because many conversations that you will have around cloud will focus just on technology. Who has the best public cloud? How many data centers do they have? How availability is it? These sorts of issues. But I would implore you to think broader and think about business outcomes. And I want you to think about this. At the core of experience and the way that we work is the data. That is actually what matters here. That's the insight, that's the information, that's the lifeblood of what will deliver the outcomes. So you think about it, and I'll bring up a little graphic here. Your data is going to be stored in a variety of places. It'll be in public, it'll be in private, it'll be a combination of cloud environments. Now, it may be that you have old applications that you still use, the mission-critical applications that run your business. Some of you call them legacy applications. Most of us call them mission-critical applications. They are what make your business run. Now, you may have cloud-native applications that you've built for the phones or for some sort of interface that the client is coming through on the web. It may be that these are just API-enabled applications, that you've wrapped these in some way and joined them together. But the reality is you'll have lots of applications that will, in the end, provide a single experience. The data you use won't just be data that you're producing. You're going to use license data. Maybe it's social data, maybe it's weather data, maybe it's some other form of financial data that you might be using. You'll have data that your customers have helped you with, which is transactional data. And by the way, this is your competitive advantage. And you're going to want to put that together with public data. And again, this may be data that's out there in the market that you can get access to without having to buy it. But that data is what's going to fuel everything for you. Now, you have technologies you'll put to work. Maybe AI to extract some insight or to help you with the next best action. It may be blockchain or automation or IoT, a variety of different things that you can leverage. It may be that you use some rules, some intelligence. And finally, I want you to think about this. The outcomes that you achieve are going to happen because of the way your people work with that data. It's going to be about the way they work. It's not going to be about automating the way the process was, which was dictated by the application, but the way you want to deliver the experience, the way you want to have the process actually run. And it's going to come down to the culture, the way that you deliver, the vision that you have for your organization and for your customers. And for all of this, you're going to need a new way to think. It's not about which public cloud vendor you want to select. IBM has a great public cloud offering, but I've got to tell you that is just the smallest part of this. It's a much bigger picture. And we are here to partner with you on that journey. This is where data and AI strategy, people and processes, and thinking about the way you work is far more important in that overall journey. And I encourage you to start there when you think about what are you trying to do with your organization. I'll give you an example of a company who's become a lot more agile by using an approach like this. And this is going to be a story about American Airlines. And I think it's a very interesting one. Let's play the video.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard. Captain speaking. Pretty much anticipating on-time arrival.
In the scenario where there's a flight cancellation or some other off-schedule operation, we've had a system where we find new seats and flights availability for those customers. But I think oftentimes customers didn't necessarily know that that was the best option for them. What we wanted to do was create a system where they could actually see alternate options.
The goal was to facilitate a better experience for our customers on how to get to their destination in an automated fashion on the channel of their choice.
So we partnered with IBM and specifically IBM Cloud Platform to adopt their garage method, pair programming, test-driven development.
The original timeline was actually over a year. So American approached IBM and asked us if there was any way we could help them shorten that timeline.
From the time that we started development on dynamic rebooking until the time that we actually had customers using it was about 4.5 months.
We were kind of cautious to release this product. We rolled it out to a limited number of stations across all the channels, and it really went flawlessly.
We are now crossing into a zone of turbulence. Please keep your seatbelts fastened.
In our business, hurricanes, storms, other natural events impact our customers on a fairly regular basis. What happened, and this is a true story, the hurricanes hit, and everybody said, this is ridiculous. Our customers were being impacted by the hurricanes immediately. Why are we mitigating risk on a traditional rollout when we have the power of the cloud? And this is exactly the scenario that our customers need this capability.
We made the decision as a team that the tool needed to be turned on, and especially in the hardest hit areas, so we did.
Having the confidence to just flip the switch really came out of the whole project from the beginning. This was a unique opportunity for us really to embed the business side right in with the technology team.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
One of our expectations when we were moving to the IBM cloud was the scale and the hyperscale of cloud should relieve our normal concerns around infrastructure when we roll out an application globally. So when the hurricanes hit, we put that to a test and our confidence was there and the application worked flawlessly.
I think people will now realize that these kind of activities and integration are much easier when we can use cloud technology, and especially microservices, we can break problems into much smaller problems, and those get much easier to wrap your head around and develop.
This is the technology that we need to be adopting now in order to keep pace with our customer expectations.
Okay, huge advances being made in agility, speed, and delivering on real business outcomes. A couple of things I wanted to share with you which are critical to understand. I apologize for the graphics up here, but the important thing is that all enterprises will end up with multiple clouds. So IBM has designed our cloud to be able to manage in multiple environments. We don't care which other vendors you're working with, whether it's AWS or Microsoft, whether it's Google or Oracle or many other players, whether you've got Salesforce applications or SAP, we have designed our solutions for multi-cloud. You may have seen a very large acquisition that IBM made recently of Red Hat. The reason that we've done this is that Red Hat is the leading company in the open world to provide a containerized platform and an open Linux platform that allows multi-cloud to be real. We see a world of true multi-cloud, open cloud, and so we've designed our entire portfolio for that environment. We want to have the very best cloud, the IBM cloud, but we recognize that you will work with multiple vendors, and we want to be the best partner for you in that. Because why? As you can see at the bottom of this chart, most people are going to want to move data between clouds. They're going to want to move applications. Portability is absolutely critical. The connectivity is critical. And what you want is a single pane of glass for management and for your security. And so that's what the IBM Cloud approach is all about. So, as I said, we made a very large acquisition. It really is about the open world that we see and the multi-cloud world that we see, and to talk more about what we're trying to do there to make application portability real, to make integration real. I'm going to bring up here the country manager for Red Hat here in Indonesia, and that's Rolly Maloney, and please welcome him on stage.
Selamat siang, Bapak Ibu sekalian. Nama saya Rolly Maloney, saya dari Red Hat Indonesia. Seperti yang tadi Dian sudah perkenalkan, Is my mic on?
Tidak.
Is it on now?
Yes.
Great. So, saya akan translate dalam bahasa Indonesia, unfortunately. Saya Roli, saya dari Red Hat Indonesia. Kenapa saya ada di sini? Tadi seperti yang Dian sudah announce, Red Hat diakuisisi oleh IBM per Juli tahun ini. Dan tentu saja ada alasan yang sangat besar kenapa itu terjadi. Dan ada juga beberapa hal yang ingin saya sampaikan on behalf of Red Hat terkait rencana kita ke depan dan apa itu artinya buat Bapak Ibu sekalian di dalam ruangan ini. Yang paling penting yang Bapak Ibu mesti ingat adalah buat Bapak Ibu yang sudah bekerja sama dengan Red Hat, yang sudah merupakan klien dari Red Hat remains Red Hat. We are still Red Hat. Apa itu artinya? Kita tetap maintain kita punya netralitas dan independence in terms of kita punya go to market strategi, kita punya partner ecosystem, kita punya produk portfolio, dan tentu saja yang paling penting adalah kita punya open source commitment. Ya. Jadi Red Hat akan tetap open source 100%, independent from IBM, tapi working together as a partner of IBM, as part of IBM, untuk serving Bapak Ibu sekalian. Dan tentu saja brand kita tetap ada, Red Hat tetap ada, Red Hat Indonesia tetap ada, saya tetap pakai pen Red Hat di sini. Tadi Dian sudah sempat bicara tentang hybrid multi cloud. In terms of value propositionnya seperti apa? Tapi ketika kita lakukan survei dan kita tanya ke klien-klien kita semua, ini real ya. Lebih dari 8 dari 10 customer kita bilang bahwa mereka punya multi cloud strategi. Hanya 1 dari 10 yang bilang mereka komit terhadap satu public cloud provider, which kalau dalam pandangan saya itu tidak very smart ya. Kan berbagai alasan yang akan bisa kita bicarakan nanti. Tapi pada kenyataannya adalah Bapak Ibu semua sekarang yang punya strategi cloud pasti berpikiran tentang multi cloud strategi, dan itu sudah terbukti. Tapi cloud itu sebenarnya bukan destinasi ya. Multi cloud itu bukan ultimate goal kita sebenarnya. Ultimate goalnya Bapak Ibu sekalian saya yakin adalah gimana caranya membangun aplikasi dengan speed, flexibility, dan pilihan sehingga bisa serving business users untuk menjawab tantangan bisnis yang mereka hadapi. Ya. So kita percaya bahwa open source dan hybrid cloud adalah ingredients utama untuk bisa mencapai itu semua. Red Hat Enterprise Linux, saya yakin Bapak Ibu semua sudah tahu tentang sepak terjang kami di dunia Linux. Kami sebagai market share owner terbesar untuk Linux Enterprise di Indonesia dan di dunia. Dan belakangan ini juga kami memiliki 4 tahun terakhir yang kita sebut dengan container platform yang disebut dengan OpenShift. 2 key komponen ini adalah yang akan mengenable Bapak Ibu sekalian untuk dapat memiliki atau merealisasikan visi multi cloud itu tadi. Karena footprint di mana Red Hat Enterprise Linux dan OpenShift itu berdiri, yaitu physical, virtual, private cloud, ataupun public cloud, itu doesn't matter anymore. Ya, Bapak Ibu akan mendapatkan fleksibilitas yang tinggi ketika menggunakan 2 ingredients tersebut untuk realize apapun itu di level aplikasi, apakah itu everything as a service, cloud native application, IoT, dan lain sebagainya. Gimana Red Hat bisa seperti sekarang ini? Apa journey kita sebenarnya? Ya, jadi yang dilakukan oleh IBM ketika mereka spending 34 miliar US dollar itu merupakan the largest software acquisition for enterprise. Think about it, the largest software acquisition for enterprise itu ketika beli open source software. Yang nilainya itu adalah ya, open source software itu nilainya apa? Apa yang kita jual ke market? Kita nggak jualan lisensi. Okay? So how do we come to this point? Yang paling utama tentu saja Linux has transformed the world. Ya. Linux benar-benar sudah menjadi suatu fondasi dari apapun yang dilakukan di dunia IT saat ini. Tanpa Bapak Ibu sadari, saya sering ditanya oleh media, emang open source secure ya? Emang Linux safe to use ya? Jawaban saya simple. Kalau nggak percaya bahwa Linux itu secure, jangan transaksi di bank, jangan pakai handphone, jangan naik public transportation, because those are all the mission critical applications, mission critical systems yang supported by Linux. Dan tentu saja Linux is only one small part of open source. Apa yang sudah kami lakukan di open source selama 30 tahun terakhir, tentu saja memberikan value kepada bukan hanya customer-customer di Indonesia, tapi seluruh dunia terkait apa yang sudah mereka bisa lakukan dengan teknologi open source tersebut. Tadi saya sudah sampaikan, untuk suatu proyek yang dimulai di ruangan asramanya Linus Torvalds University of Helsinki tahun 1991, ini merupakan sesuatu yang benar-benar sudah mentransform dunia ini dengan cara yang bahkan dia sendiri tidak bisa imagine pada saat itu. Ketika dia rilis emailnya ke grup pada tahun 91, dia bilang ini main-main, ini nggak serius kok proyeknya. Tapi kenyataannya, the largest public cloud provider di dunia itu lebih dari setengah workloadnya itu running Linux, ya. Dan ini juga sebenarnya sesuatu yang menyebabkan banyak sekali public cloud provider yang ingin berpartner dengan Red Hat. Dan IBM tentu saja sebelum kita diakuisisi oleh IBM juga merupakan partner dari Red Hat. Akan tetapi dengan kita credo multi cloud itu tadi, kita sebenarnya netral. Apakah Bapak Ibu mau deploy cloud di Azure, di AWS, Ali Cloud, atau Hybrid Cloud, it doesn't matter. Linux is a foundation for which you can have flexibility. Dan fakta yang kedua adalah terkait dengan Kubernetes. Saya join Red Hat 4,5 tahun yang lalu. 4 tahun yang lalu ketika saya ngomong di depan forum, saya bicara tentang Kubernetes, saya banyak mendapat pandangan kosong. Nggak tahu apa itu Kubernetes, nggak tahu apa itu kontainer. Siapa yang udah peliharaan dengan kontainer platform di sini? Udah peliharaan dengan Kubernetes? Ya. Kubernetes merupakan container orchestration dan container management teknologi yang paling leading saat ini. Dirilis 5 tahun yang lalu oleh Google dan di open source-kan melalui Linux Foundation dan Cloud Native Foundation sejak 4 tahun yang lalu. Kubernetes sekarang merupakan the leading teknologi yang sudah diadopsi oleh berbagai teknologi container platform. Ya. 4 tahun yang lalu Red Hat make a bet. Kita re-engineer, kita punya container platform dari orchestration platform yang sebelumnya ke Kubernetes. Dan kita konsisten, kita menggunakan Kubernetes sejak itu. Meskipun pada saat itu sebenarnya yang pakai platform yang lain lebih banyak. Di sini disebut ada Docker Swarm, ada Cloud Foundry, ada Mesos, dan lain sebagainya. Ya. Bahkan IBM sendiri, kalau saya boleh bilang, pada saat itu nggak pakai Kubernetes. Mereka pakai orchestration teknologi yang lain. But the good thing is, ketika Bapak Ibu ikut lari, lomba lari, kemudian lihat ke belakang, ternyata nggak ada yang ngikutin, itu berarti larinya salah ya arahnya. Tapi ketika kita lari, di belakang banyak yang ngikutin, that means you are going the right direction. And today I can say, bahwa bisa dibilang semua container player itu sudah mengadopsi Kubernetes sebagai orchestration platform mereka. Jadi decision yang Red Hat buat 4 tahun yang lalu memberikan kami head start selama 4 tahun untuk grab market yang ada di dunia saat ini, dan tentu saja kami yang paling mature saat ini. Dan itu terbukti dengan footprint customer-customer di dunia. Container platform buat kami ini bukan mainan, ini bukan toys, ini barang serius yang menjalankan mission critical system di berbagai industri untuk berbagai macam tipe workload. Dan di Indonesia sendiri kami punya satu case study yang sangat kami banggakan. Kalau Bapak Ibu ingat, sekitar 3 tahun yang lalu, Bank BTPN meluncurkan suatu produk yang lumayan menggemparkan pasar, ya, Genius waktu itu. Kalau sekarang semua bank udah ikut-ikutan, sudah follow ya, sudah punya juga digital banking application mereka. Tapi Bapak Ibu ingat ya, yang pertama dulu siapa? BTPN. Bahkan mereka brandingnya itu nggak kayak BTPN, Genius like bank. So they chose us. Mereka pilih OpenShift pada saat itu untuk meluncurkan digital banking mereka, meluncurkan aplikasi wow mereka, lakukan mereka. Dan sekarang BTPN bukan yang the largest OpenShift cluster di Indonesia nomor 2, nomor satunya tetap ada satu lagi telco, tapi mereka lah yang paling advance in terms of their own capability deploying application untuk enjoying all agility yang bisa ditawarkan oleh container platform untuk launching feature-feature tambahan dan juga the criticality of the application daripada digital banking mereka. Jadi pada kesimpulannya, kami benar-benar percaya bahwa open unlocks the world's potential, and we're excited to be a part of IBM. Thank you.
Okay, so we've taken all of our software at IBM since the day that we announced this acquisition, and we have now fully cloud OpenShift enabled that entire portfolio. So inside the entire IBM portfolio, which if you've worked with us for a long time in software, you'll know there's thousands of products. We've now brought this down to 6 cloud packs. There will be more as we create and innovate more, but all of them now are built on this OpenShift container platform. So that when you work with our software now, you're already in this Chapter 2 world. You're already containerized, you're able to work across your applications to drive the integration, to drive the data work and analytics that you need, the automation, the multi-cloud management that you get inside this data pack, which is the first in the industry that can provide this. And now the new cloud pack for security that we've just announced, making it very simple to select the portfolio that you need and put it to work already containerized. Very powerful combination, able to run on any cloud in the industry. Okay, so this is powerful and a great set of tools that you can leverage. I'm going to break this down very quickly in an example. If you think about banking, you think about the challenge, big monolithic applications, long development cycles, siloed data stores, trying to move to a place where they can provide customers very quick offers as they need them, to service them very, very quickly, 24/7, seamless across all their channels. You've got to think about data privacy and policy and governance managed. How do you change the culture? How do you deal with the scalability issues? And so, with Cloud Paks, you're able to take this environment that's made up of your legacy systems, your development issues, all of the cloud-native application work you're doing, the testing that you're doing, and bring that to a multi-cloud approach. Now, how do you do that in this multi-cloud world? You can put to work, and I went one click too many there, but you can put this to work very quickly, bringing all of the Cloud Paks to bear against all of these issues. They fit in very simply, and they basically help to turn this innovation flywheel very, very quickly. We're seeing evidence of clients who are able to accelerate their build and deploy by more than 80%. When you're building cloud-native solutions, your data prep using the Cloud Data Pack is able to be improved by 80%. Climbing the AI ladder that Martin spoke about earlier, we are reducing operational expenses significantly, nearly 75%. And finally, some of the integration costs that clients are seeing in managing multi-cloud, they're able to take cost out of that by nearly 33%. So there's real value here that we are delivering by leveraging OpenShift, by packaging up all of these applications and integrating all of these tools together to provide you a better experience. We're seeing success across the marketplace. Thousands of clients are now using these solutions. Some great examples, Westpac in Australia now are delivering every application in the entire organization over hybrid cloud, leveraging these solutions. 3 times less in cost. They've been able to modernize their applications 10 times faster using these technologies. Woodside, they've been able to scale AI and to bring the intelligence that's in their more mature workers to their newer workers by leveraging AI as a learning tool and an education tool and reducing time spent in education significantly. Cargill's Bank. This is a 130-year-old organization that has moved from food and retail into providing banking services as well with great cybersecurity. And they're using AI and cybersecurity together to deliver value. And finally, K-Bank in Thailand have just put blockchain on the cloud to do loan guarantee letters. Very innovative solution, all built on Linux and deployed in the open cloud. Some great stories of success here across the region. So to finish up, how do you get started? This is all exciting. There are great opportunities here. This is a path that you will go down. We have our team outside who can talk to you about the IBM Garage. and transformation advisory. We'd love to sit down and do an entry workshop with you and to show you how you can get on this path. That workshop would allow you to look at what is your architecture today, what is the landscape that you have, and help you build a roadmap for application modernization. This is where the view will start. And then finally, how can you bring some of these innovative new tools, whether it be AI, whether it be IoT and blockchain or cybersecurity, how can you bring these to deliver more value to your enterprise? I hope you have a wonderful day today. There's a lot of great speakers here, a lot of great skills that are here in Indonesia. And it's been a great pleasure to be with you today. Terima kasih. Thank you.
Great job, Dian. Dian, everyone, can we give him another round of applause? Excellent. In a moment, we're going to have an insightful panel discussion. We could call the individuals, the four individuals that are coming up here, magicians of the data world. But I believe there's so many more of you out there, more magicians amongst you in the audience today. We're going to try something really quick and cool. Just have the house lights up a little bit. This gentleman here, can you just stand up? Yes, you? Yep. Could you give him a round of applause as he joins you on stage? Excellent. And use these stairs. Good job. There's going to be a bit of commotion behind this, but that's fine. Now, let's just get the microphone. Let's see who we've got here. So, hi there. Thank you for coming on stage. We haven't set anything up. Oh, no? And your name? Martin. Is this working, guys? No. Hello? Hello? Yeah. Are we on? Yes. And your name again? Martin. Martin. Which company are you from? I'm from Onward Health Research. Onward Health Research. Excellent. Okay. So IBM Watson may be of interest to you? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps. Good. Good. Bit of a sales pitch there. But Martin, what you're going to do in a moment is you're going to shuffle these cards. Now, when we shuffle a pack of cards, it really is random. Just like a Rubik's Cube. So what you're going to do is you're going to mix those up and you're going to come across here. When Martin is mixing up those cards, they'll probably never be in that original order ever again in his lifetime, and never will be again. Great job. Now, let's see how well Martin shuffled these 52 playing cards. 52 playing cards, 52 different options. Queen, Jack, and King together. I'm not playing cards with you, Martin. Okay, great job. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to call stop wherever you want, and you're going to have a completely free choice. So as I run the cards, everyone can see them changing there. So tell me when to stop. Stop. There? Okay. Take the card. Take it. Yeah, one card, just one. Lock that into your mind. I'm looking away. And hold it close to your chest. Martin, do you have that in your mind? Just nod, yes or no? Yes? Good, great job. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to mind read you. I'm going to try and see if the audience can enter your mind. Okay? I know that seems scary, but don't worry. Martin, what you're going to do is take one step back, and close your eyes. Okay, keep your eyes closed, but just focus on your card. What Martin's going to do is he's going to be the transmitter, and all of your brains out there are going to be the receivers. It's like you're pulsing the signal of the card, okay? So first of all, Martin, I want you to pulse the colour. It could obviously be red or black. So we're just going to try this. Keep pulsing away. He's doing a fantastic job. Now, mobile phones interconnect us, don't they, in every part of our lives. Every part of our lives. But we're just going to try a little video here. I'm sure this row won't have any idea what the colour is. What the colour is of the card. Let's just start this. The gentleman with his arms crossed there, could you stand up for a second? Yes, you. Hi there. What's your name? Shout it out. Ronnie. Red or black? Shout it out. Red or black? Red! Good, I don't know if we're close, thank you. As you sit down, middle row. So we've got numbers or picture cards. Number or picture cards. This gentleman here with the glasses, yes you, could you stand up? Is it numbers or pictures?
Numbers.
Numbers! Sit down. Martin, just a quick yes or no. Are we on the right track? Yes. Give him a round of applause. Right, so we've got red, numbers, we need a suit. This gentleman here at the end, in the second row, yes you, stand up. Hearts or diamonds? Hearts! Are we still on the right track, Martin? Yes! Round of applause for Martin, he's sending it to you. Mind blowing. This gentleman here in the black shirt, yes you, stand up. Second row, you, yes, stand up. What's your name?
Nadim.
Nadim, nice to meet you. Nadim, you have the critical last question. What is the value? Loud and clearly, shout it out.
4.
4. So that would be the 4 of hearts. Right, let's see. Let's see, I have no idea. Is it the 4 of hearts? Can we all see that? The 4 of hearts. Wow. Are you impressed? Good. So are we. Yeah. The thing is, Martin, sometimes we don't have to work harder. We just have to think smarter. He's been a great sport, hasn't he? Martin, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Great job. Right, so next we have the panelists. I need to introduce you to these 4 amazing individuals. Okay, are they ready? Are they ready? Yes, we need good energy here. So, we have Pak Muklis. Is he here? Yes! Give him a round of applause, make him feel welcome. Pak Handika, our other star. Let's go, come on, quickly. Pak Kamang. There he is. He's going this way. Good. And we also have Ibu Liana from IBM. Enjoy the discussion, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Selamat siang Bapak Ibu sekalian. Masih semangat ya? Hampir lunchtime, tapi ini justru saat yang paling ditunggu-tunggu karena kita ada 3 tadi disebutkan superheroes kita ya. Tadi dia bilang ada 4 magician. I think it's only 3 because I'm not a magician. By the way, Andrew, that was so impressive. Seriously, I was thinking about 4 hearts, and you read it. Oh my God. So it was impressive. Thank you. So I hope you all entertained. So right now, seperti yang dikenalkan, kita ada 3 panelis kita di sini. Mungkin nanti Bapak, saya boleh ya satu-satu saya ini. Bapak mic-nya udah. Nah, mungkin saya perkenalkan dulu satu persatu. Nanti kita bincang-bincang dulu, baru saya ke panelis berikutnya. Boleh ya Pak ya? Ya. Sekali lagi, pertama-tama saya ingin mengenalkan Dr. Komang Budi Aryasa, sarjana doktor, ya doktor, dokter ya, maaf, ya Master of Engineering. Jadi Bapak Komang adalah Deputy dari Big Data dan Research dan juga Head dari Digital Platform dan Enabler dari PT Telekomunikasi Indonesia, Telkom. Tepuk tangan untuk Pak Komang. Terima kasih Pak untuk waktunya pagi hari ini. Jadi Pak Komang ini sudah bekerja, kalau saya baca dari CV-nya dari tahun 97 ya Pak ya, 22 tahun di industri. Jadi selalu punya expertise di daerah big data dan juga machine learning. Salah satu juga yang menjadi bintangnya adalah Pak Komang adalah Board of Advisory dari Data Science Indonesia dan juga Indonesia Big Data Community. Kemudian adalah member dari Asosiasi Big Data Indonesia. Terima kasih Pak untuk waktunya. Pak Komang, mungkin boleh cerita dulu sedikit mengenai apa mungkin of course everyone knows lah ya, Telkom, about your company, tapi mungkin lebih spesifik di divisi Bapak ini seperti apa?
Baik,
Terima kasih. Pertama saya ucapkan terima kasih kepada IBM yang sudah mengundang saya, juga bapak ibu-ibu yang hadir di ruangan ini, terima kasih. Seperti yang diperkenalkan, saya dari PT Telkom Indonesia. Kebetulan sejak awal penugasan memang di divisi yang berkenaan dengan digital. Sejak 5 tahun lalu saya membangun divisi tersendiri di Telkom, namanya Big Data. Kemudian sejak tahun ini kita mulai eksplor tentang AI. Jadi memang kita bangun sendiri unit Big Datanya dengan kita rekrut beberapa orang yang dari fresh graduate juga, kita train, kita tumbuhkan organik karena kita believe bahwa Big Data itu akan menjadi daily operation dari setiap company. Jadi kita berusaha untuk membangun capability-nya di company kita. Ya, Pak. Kemudian mungkin bisa di-share, Bapak ada slide ya? Mungkin ada yang slide-nya? Ya, sambil saya bincang-bincang dulu ya Pak. Mungkin Bapak bisa ceritakan ada beberapa mungkin bisnis challenge atau pain point yang ada dalam menjalankan bisnisnya?
Ya, khususnya karena di sini topiknya tentang data dan AI ya. Jadi ada 3 hal yang menjadi challenge kita pada saat pertama-tama menjalankan bisnis Big Data ini. Yang pertama adalah tentunya people. Jadi kita sudah merasakan sendiri di Indonesia sendiri tidak mudah sebenarnya mencari talent untuk Big Data ini. Data scientist susah ya. Ya. Kemudian kita ada pilihan apakah kita mau hire atau build. Kalau pertama melakukannya tentunya kita mix gitu ya. Jadi tidak mesti kita harus hire terus karena seperti saya bilang bahwa analitik akan menjadi daily operation of every company. Sehingga kita harus bangun capability. Yang kedua adalah proses. Jadi pada saat kita bicara proses maka kita harus mengikuti yang namanya regulasi tentang yang berkaitan dengan data privacy. Ada banyak sekali regulasinya. Namun yang utama bagi industri saya itu ada 2. Jadi ada undang-undang tentang telekomunikasi, ada ITE. Keduanya mengatur tentang bagaimana sharing data pelanggan dilakukan secara aman. Jadi kalau kita menyalahi regulasi tersebut, artinya kita tidak fit di industri. Jadi kita juga harus mengikuti regulasi. Jadi yang kedua itu adalah proses. Jadi bagaimana data governance itu dilakukan di company kita. Kemudian yang ketiga baru teknologi. Jadi selalu teknologi itu ditaruh yang paling akhir. Karena memulainya dari bisnis problem, kemudian berakhir di teknologi. Jadi jangan mulai dari teknologi. Makanya pada saat saya membentuk pertama unit Big Data dan AI di company saya itu, saya tidak memulainya dari divisi IT. Jadi mulailah dari divisi bisnis. Karena mulai dari bisnis problem, datanya apa, teknologi.
Gitu ya Pak. Jadi menarik sekali. Dari divisi kemudian itu Pak, apa solution apa yang Bapak ingin bangun atau apa yang sedang dijalankan saat ini Pak?
Ya, seperti presenter-presenter sebelumnya sebenarnya Big Data sama AI ini adalah semacam enabler. Jadi dia bagaimana menjadi enabler dari vertical industri atau bisnis yang dijalankan dalam satu company. Jadi kita memiliki satu cita-cita bahwa salah satu dari enabler yaitu Big Data ini akan menjadi yang kita sebut sebagai National Digital Platform. Jadi kita sebut di internal kita NDP. Di samping Big Data dan AI ada beberapa enabler platform yang memiliki interkoneksi di dalamnya yang kita lihat akan menjadi yang kita sebut sebagai National Digital Platform. Yaitu IoT platform, cloud tadi sudah dibahas banyak. Cloud platform, kemudian security platform, yang terakhir itu adalah API. Nah itulah 5 atau 6 enabler yang akan enable industri vertikal dan bisnis.
Dan ini baru starting atau mungkin
baru starting
ya.
Mimpi yang besar ya, maksudnya implementasi di 2020 untuk mendukung program pemerintah.
Mudah-mudahan sukses Pak. Terima kasih. Mungkin saya sekarang beralih, boleh Pak ke Pak Handika ya, boleh ya? Kita ajak dulu. Ya, saya perkenalan dulu. Terima kasih Pak Komang. Pak Handika Halim sebagai Head of Analytics dan Campaign Management dari PT Bank Mandiri Tbk, ya. Beliau punya 11 tahun pengalaman di industri, kemudian experience di finance, terutama di financial sector ya Pak ya. Dan juga sudah spend the last 7 years untuk men-serving top tier global bank dan national bank dengan fokus driving business transformation. Pak Handika, sama pertanyaannya sama Pak. Mungkin boleh dijelaskan dulu. Again, semua tahu Bank Mandiri, tapi area apa Bapak yang menjadi fokus di Bank Mandiri? Dan
pertama terima kasih buat teman IBM. Jadi basically Bank Mandiri kan start dari mungkin tahun 98 pasca krisis, kemudian merger dari beberapa bank. Nah sekarang itu kita serving internal transaction itu juga mungkin on daily basis itu data jutaan. Kemudian dari sisi cabang pun ada 1000-an dan ATM juga. Nah artinya apa? Artinya adalah customer touch point yang kita punya ini data yang kita integrate itu massive sekali. Nah disitulah kalau kita lihat tadi apa the origin of the story. I think that is one of the pain point that we have at the moment is to how we can actually leverage it more, and then ensuring the data is actually similar or having the same quality across the bank. Dan yang kedua, dan yang ketiga itu adalah mungkin in analytical skills seperti Pak Komang bilang, internal people itu very scarcity lah, dan dari limited resources. Jadi ya itu mungkin jadi salah satu fokus of enabling data utilization, data driven product even di bank kami.
Jadi Pak, kalau mengenai tadi Bapak bilang, mungkin tadi yang Martin sempat presentasikan ya Pak, mungkin dari IA, Information Architecture ke AI, di mana menurut Bapak sekarang Bank Mandiri berada dan what is your vision? Do you have a vision towards the journey to the AI?
Oh ya, jadi di Bank Mandiri sendiri sebenarnya kita sudah punya machine learning dan AI-nya sendiri. Nah, the journey, I think the end goal is actually to create better customer journey and integrate seamlessly the experience of the customer toward the multiple channel. I think that's the end state of implementing the AI. And I think salah satu yang kita coba lakukan even in the short term itu adalah mungkin kita juga ingin one of the vision itu adalah bringing the analytics into the clients gitu. Jadi tidak hanya limited kita pakai data di bank kita sendiri atau hanya untuk internal kita, tapi what our wish is actually bisa membawa data ini menjadi salah satu added value atau analytics as a service. Itu saya one of the vision-nya.
Menarik sekali Pak. Jadi saya nggak tahu boleh di-share apa nggak, tapi itu maksudnya menginfuse AI supaya membantu nasabah membuat suatu decision gitu, mungkin seperti itu ya Pak ya?
Ya betul, jadi mungkin bisa menyelamatkan klien as in corporation pada saat melakukan kerjasama atau I'm not sure kalau di klien as individual mungkin lebih ke arah tracking dari sisi daily spending, what they spend on daily basis.
Dalam prosesnya sendiri Pak menuju ke itu ada nggak mungkin bisa di-share ke audience gitu challenges yang didapatkan selain tadi orang people prosesnya juga, tapi mungkin dari pencarian teknologi atau ada challenges apa yang mungkin bisa dibagikan ke audience?
Well, in the past the challenge is not only the people tapi juga ada artian the existing legacy system. Kemudian the availability of the technology yang ada sekarang mungkin kalau saya ingat itu by can correctly 10 atau 15 years back I think the profession of the scientist mungkin very limited. Nah berarti kan dalam artian tools yang support itu atau misalnya big data ecosystem pada saat itu mungkin ada tapi not scalable, dalam artian mungkin very expensive at the time. Nah sekarang dengan adanya open source dan banyak istilahnya sudah mulai mature, jadi hal itu akhirnya menurut saya jadi scalable.
Terima kasih Pak. Mungkin saya shifting dulu ke berikutnya Pak Muklis. Saya perkenalkan dulu Bapak Muhammad Muklis. Ini sarjana teknis. Pak, ini saya mohon maaf Pak. MTCRG, saya sampai Google loh Pak. MTCRG ini apa ya Pak? Magister Teknik, CRG, CRG. Nggak apa-apa Pak, lupa. Saya Google, ini apa ya? Canggih banget nih kayaknya nih Pak. Ya, Pak Muklis ada direktur dari IT dari PT Pevindo Biro Kredit. Ya, welcome Pak. Di area governance, risk dan compliance dan juga data ya Pak ya. Beliau juga menjadi komite teknis dari Badan Standarisasi Indonesia (BSN). Terima kasih dan saya lihat Bapak punya sertifikasi banyak di area ISO dari 31.000, 27001 dan banyak lagi ya Pak. Mungkin Bapak boleh ceritakan dulu. Tadi saya sempat ngobrol-ngobrol tadi pagi sebelum acara yang dimulai. Bapak sudah datang yang pertama. Terima kasih Pak. Jadi Bapak punya pengalaman 20 tahun di Bursa Efek Indonesia juga ya Pak ya. Mungkin Bapak bisa ceritakan what you're bringing into PT Pevindo dari pengalaman itu dan around data apa yang menjadi misi.
Oke, saya CRG Certified Enterprise Risk.
Iya, terima kasih.
Oke, jadi benar saya 20 tahun mungkin teman-teman di sini ada yang dari dan satu pengalaman terbaik adalah di Bursa Efek otomatis saya biasa dengan berinteraksi dengan satu sistem yang sangat diharapkan downtime-nya itu istilahnya hampir 0%, mungkin menit atau second yang bisa ditoleransi diharapkan. Nah dengan sistem yang sangat efektif tersebut saya punya banyak pengalaman bagaimana concern untuk memanage perusahaan yang sangat depends ada satu sistem yang sangat penting. Baik itu juga membernya maupun dari transaksinya. Di samping dari aspek teknologi tadi, mungkin saya dapat banyak pengalaman juga dari aspek lain kita mengenai people dan proses. Dan memang khusus untuk proses yang
lagi bagi-bagi kertas nih mau nyontek atau gimana nih? Pak Muklis sampai apa ya bunyi kresek-kresek ya Pak ya? Ya nggak apa Pak, mohon maaf.
Oke, jadi memang people, proses dan proses mungkin pengalaman yang saya lakukan sangat banyak yang baik itu sifatnya profesional maupun ya akhirnya jadi mulai dari yang tadi yang dijelaskan mengenai kasus 91 dan related IT ada governance, ada ISO terkait dan satu lagi nama stabil. Jadi kalau kita manage satu sistem yang ataupun nanti kita diberikan big data itu kita harus balance juga yang terakhir itu juga satu dari mengenai organisasinya harus kita sesuaikan dengan related kita yang IT atau harus kita sesuaikan dan otomatis skill dari people yang ada di Indonesia
Itu ya Pak. Kelihatannya ada common theme ya Pak yang dari people kemudian proses itu yang I think currently masih menjadi suatu pusing kepala ya. Aku mau nambahin.
Ya, memang di situasi globalnya kan juga sama. Jadi kalau di global juga data scientist juga jarang sehingga harganya juga mahal. Kemudian kalau kita lihat di kampus-kampus juga baru mulai karena subjek data scientist ini kan mix subject. Ada statistik, kemudian bisnis, satu lagi adalah information technology. Sedangkan kurikulum kita kan mudah-mudahan segera untuk bisa diadjust
dengan minister yang baru ini ya Pak ya,
bisa melakukan mix terhadap beberapa subjek itu sehingga menimbulkan program studi baru. Nah ini yang sekarang dihadapi, tidak hanya kita, negara lain juga sama. Tapi solusinya adalah bagaimana solusinya agar di satu company bisa. Jadi data scientist itu tidak di-treat sebagai satu orang, tapi tim. Jadi tim data scientist. Ada tim statistiknya, ada tim information technology-nya, ada tim bisnisnya. Jadi kalau di-treat sebagai satu grup, ya mungkin ada solusinya. Tapi mencari orang yang menguasai semuanya, saya pikir agak sulit.
Betul. Balik mungkin ke Bapak-Bapak siapa aja. Kalau misalnya boleh diandaikan Pak, saat ini misalnya ada satu solusi yang seperti apa sih yang bisa membantu Anda untuk tadi banyak visi yang berbeda NDP atau apa, itu yang seperti apa yang bisa kolaborasi membantu? Misalnya Pak Andika kayaknya mau jawab.
Ya, mungkin sebenarnya namanya dari terkait itu. Jadi yang saya temukan throughout the year ini, one of the problem itu adalah transferability, atau misalnya how we are going to translate the result of analytics into more business sense. Jadi kalau saya dibilang boleh timnya bisnis, dan kan dia adalah kolaborasi. Meaning kolaborasi harus ada namanya layman term atau common language antara data scientist, kemudian engineer, all the way sampai ke bisnis. Nah, ya konkretnya apakah ada platform itu yang kira-kira mungkin dalam artian we are kind of looking for itu, ini adalah bridging antara the scientist world dengan business world, karena sometimes it's kind of missing in the middle.
Exactly, Pak. Ya, saya sih nggak harus promo ya, tapi memang I think that's also from us teknologi ini yang kita mencari membantu untuk solusi di area seperti itu. Dari Pak Mukti?
Ya, saya kira mungkin masing-masing perusahaan pasti akan punya sendiri. Kalau saya bicara di begitu otomatis mungkin sedikit saya kenalkan sedikit ya. Di Indonesia mereka satu biro kredit swasta yang sekitar 4-5 tahun lalu, regulasinya baru ada, dan kalau itu ada di Bank Indonesia ada data SID, kalau sekarang di irigasi. Dan kalau kita bicara konteks biro kredit, otomatis kita butuh solusi yang saat data processing kita sangat cukup besar banget, karena kita punya data seluruh nasabah di Indonesia sifatnya puluhan juta, dan bagaimana data tersebut kita proses dengan data quality yang cukup bagus, dan otomatis sekarang kan ada agile ya, jadi semua mau cepat gitu ya, dan bagaimana kita bisa proses ini dengan cepat. Nah, jadi itu di sisi yang tadi kalau presentasi sebelumnya, bagaimana data itu ready. Tapi step berikutnya adalah balik ke produknya. Kayak misalkan sekarang kalau di Indonesia ada produk untuk profiling dan scoring untuk kredit kayak gitu. Itu kita punya satu solusi untuk itu. Tapi ke depan akan keluar produk yang otomatis AI, sendiri dan lain-lain akan jauh kita
bisa infuse ke dalamnya sehingga membantu ya. Mungkin dari Pak Komang.
Mungkin saya tambahkan, memang tidak hanya big data sih. AI pun kita harus mulai dari problem bisnis yang akan disolusikan. Seperti kemarin kita mensolusikan misalnya bagaimana caranya menghitung kendaraan di rest area yang masuk rest area, sehingga pada saat rest area penuh, rest area-nya harus ditutup. Karena kemacetan di jalan tol pada saat pulang mudik itu kan disebabkan oleh penuhnya rest area, sehingga orang berhenti di pinggir-pinggir tol. Nah, daripada ngitungnya pakai orang, ya udah pakai kamera aja, kita pakai video analitik. Kan mulainya dari problem, dari benar-benar real di lapangan. Yang kedua, kemarin kita coba internal bagaimana caranya absensi dilakukan pakai face recognition. Jadi misalnya masuk ke gedung kantor kita itu mendetek face-nya saja, gate-nya udah kebuka, kemudian record di absensi untuk mengurangi antrian di reception yang kadang-kadang antriannya sangat panjang untuk masuk ke gedung. Ya, mulai dari hal-hal simpel sehingga kita memahami bagaimana cara kerja dari AI itu. Kalau modelingnya sendiri saya pikir sudah banyak open source untuk kita bisa download, untuk kita bisa adjust. Tidak sekarang tidak mesti susah-susah kita bikin modeling sendiri dari scratch.
Terima kasih. Jadi kalau saya simpulkan tadi ingin cari ada satu solusi yang bisa mengkolaborasi antara data scientist, data engineer, dan juga mungkin tadi udah ada template-template atau solusi yang udah use case yang bisa kita leverage dari situ ya Pak. Mungkin sebelum saya tutup, sorry, kita boleh ada pertanyaan nggak ya? Boleh. Sebelum ditutup ada mungkin saya kasih kesempatan 1 atau 2 pertanyaan dari audience kalau ada. Yang ibu di tengah nih kayaknya. Boleh disebutkan namanya, perusahaan, dan mungkin pertanyaannya untuk Pak siapa gitu ya. Jangan ke saya.
Selamat pagi Bapak semua dan pastinya. Perkenalkan nama saya Putri Fadila Ramadhani dari PT Infocom Elektrindo sebagai IT analis. Berkaitan dengan data and AI itu, tadi sempat di-state bahwa banyak data yang tidak siap untuk diterapkan dengan AI. Lalu bagaimana treatment yang kita bisa lakukan, mengingat bahwa misal katakanlah perusahaan sudah 20 tahun berdiri, tapi data itu tidak siap untuk diimplementasikan atau diterapkan melalui AI ini, kemudian kan perjalanan teknologi itu terus bergerak. Bagaimana treatmentnya untuk mengimplementasikan AI tersebut di perusahaan tersebut? Dan yang kedua, jika ada kebutuhan untuk katakanlah analis seperti ke customer ataupun ke services, itu yang berkaitan dengan operation. Kebetulan perusahaan kami bergerak di bidang visa satelit seperti itu. Sedangkan daerah-daerah yang dimana dipasangin satelit itu daerah terestrial dan kesusahan untuk koneksi internet yang stabil, dan itu akan berpengaruh terhadap analitik data tersebut. Seperti itu, bagaimana treatmentnya untuk data yang belum ready, dan treatment juga untuk tipe-tipe solusi untuk satelit provider. Seperti itu.
Pertanyaannya untuk Pak siapa nih?
Siapa aja Pak yang bisa jawab? Yang semuanya
saya lumayan banyak ya. Jadi pertanyaan pertama, bagaimana
treatment untuk data yang
belum bisa dimengerti itu ya?
Iya, sedangkan perusahaan kan sudah lama berdiri sekitar 20 tahun. Jadi kesiapan dari perusahaan sendiri untuk treatment data yang bisa digunakan untuk analisis.
Jadi saya coba translate ya Pak. Mungkin pertanyaannya, jadi bagaimana dengan perusahaan yang sudah memiliki banyak data, kemudian data itu belum bisa derive insight-nya, tapi kita mau ke AI gitu. Ada nggak yang mungkin dari, saya nggak tahu, Pak Muklis kayaknya mau jawab.
Oke, saya coba jawab dari 2 approach. Satu, standar framework. Kalau kita bicara mengenai ISO 27001, sistem manajemen keamanan informasi itu harus di manage gitu ya. Jadi berapapun informasi yang ada di yang kita punya, informasi sebagai information asset itu harus benar-benar diklasifikasi dan apakah itu perlu atau enggak gitu ya. Jadi contoh termasuk nantinya juga apakah sifat dari informasi seperti apa. Itu untuk memilih dulu dari sekian banyak informasi yang ada ini, approach dari sistem manajemen informasi yang sudah satu. Informasi apa aja dari misalkan ada 1 juta informasi gitu ya. Mana informasi yang sifatnya publik, mana sifatnya confidential, mana yang internal dan expired dari informasi itu.
Jadi data governance-nya ya Pak ya, data structure-nya, data governance-nya harus diatur dulu supaya bisa kita mendapatkan insight dari data atau informasi tersebut.
Jadi data governance saya pikir lebih clear lagi karena kita bicara data governance, kita bicara nanti kalau AI dan BI gitu ya. Jadi information arsitekturnya juga clear. Information arsitektur apa aja yang akan nanti diolah dalam data governance.
Ya. Jadi tadi mungkin saya simpulkan Mbak, kita harus mengatur dulu data-data tersebut dalam suatu yang structured, kemudian diatur aturan-aturannya dalam data governance, baru bisa derive insight dari data tersebut atau informasi tersebut. Pertanyaan tadi kedua, kayaknya mbaknya waktu saya udah habis. Ini mungkin saya nggak tahu Pak ngomong mungkin lebih tepat ya. Yang bisa tuh Pak, satelit langsung nembak nih saya nih Pak, mohon maaf. Jadi mungkin katanya daerah-daerah tertentu ada yang informasinya internetnya belum tercapai, tapi bagaimana bisa seperti apa ya?
Ya, mungkin yang pertama saya tambahkan sedikit, kalau kawan-kawan sudah sering bermain dengan data, sebenarnya 80% waktu kita itu ada pada data preparation. Jadi data missing itu sangat susah itu sebenarnya untuk kita lengkapi. Jadi makanya 80% data kita itu adalah data preparation. Kalau menggunakan auto AI yang tadi didemokan itu, saya belum pernah menggunakan, tadi saya tahu feel-nya. 99% waktu kita itu untuk data preparation. Karena pada saat data preparation siap, masukkan ke auto AI, langsung jalan tuh tadi. Kalau satelit, pengalamannya sama dengan waktu kita bikin IoT di pertambangan. Jadi kalau solusinya sudah ada, IoT untuk pekerja tambang, tapi kalau koneksi internetnya nggak ada, itu sama saja. Jadi hal fundamental itu adalah koneksi internet ada dulu. Jadi kalau tanpa itu ya pasti nggak ada.
Mungkin pesan sih Pak. Oke, waktu kita sudah habis Pak. Mungkin dari bapak-bapak ada yang mau memberikan last message mungkin? Andika atau enggak? Mungkin
Saya jawab yang tadi aja.
Oke.
Nah, itu tarik juga karena itu basically is everyone's problem. Maksudnya banyak sekali data-data kita, terutama mungkin di kawan-kawan di bank yang kita nggak tahu itu datanya, pertama quality-nya dipertanyakan, kedua data itu ngomongin apa. Nah, tapi biasanya mungkin bisa dilakukan itu adalah if you allow a lot of eksperimen, jadi eksperimen terkait data. Jadi kadang-kadang dengan eksperimen dan combine dengan kualitatif, kita jadi tahu tuh basically data itu actually meaning-nya apa. Maksudnya meaning dalam artian kalau misalnya kita relate back to customer journey, itu tuh maksudnya di step mana, kemudian apakah yang what is actually happening with the customer, kemudian sampai dia ngeluarin pattern, misalnya harus tawarin ABC padahal datanya telling differently. Jadi namanya.
Terima kasih. Begitu kita beri tepuk tangan untuk bapak-bapak kita ini superheroes ya, magician kita. Terima kasih Pak Andika, Pak Muklis dan Pak Komang untuk waktunya. Sebelum saya turun Pak, saya ada permintaan, boleh nggak kita selfie bareng sama audiens? Gaya muda. Saya. Coba yang belakang angkat tangan ya, yang belakang angkat tangan coba. Oke, 1, 2. Terima kasih. Oke, saya serahkan kembali, maybe to Andrew or not. Thank you.
Once again, give a warm round of applause for the amazing 4 panelists. Thank you very much. Okay, now I'm going to be accused of pickpocketing. I really haven't been stealing people's objects in the break there, but this is a bit of housekeeping. Dira, I have all your identity. I've stolen it. Dira, where are you? Is Dira here? Oh, I'll pass that up to the ushers here. Could you pass that up to Dira? Could you pass that up to Dira? Dira, okay. We've also got Reinhardt from Maybank. Reinhardt? You're wondering where that was, yeah? Excellent. Right. Also at this point, I just want to quickly say, you're going to get some feedback forms. I don't know whether you've got them already. Some of you have. Fill them out at the end of your day, but it has to be at the end of your day. And there's lots of stuff, many great stuff that's stacked at the end of today. So make sure you wait until the very end. We've got some inspiring stories. We've got a special guest who's going to blow your mind at the end of today. So make sure that you fill it in, give it to the reception, the admin just there, and they'll give you a gift. If you do that, they'll give you a gift. So, at this point, our next guest is based in Singapore now, but originally he hails from Canada. His name is Kitman Chung. He is the Chief Technology Officer of Data and AI for IBM in the Asia Pacific region. His presentation is called An Introduction to Data Lake, Being a Data-Driven Organization. Give it up for Kitman.
Good morning, everybody. Hi, my name is Kitman, and as Andrew has said, I came from Canada. So in case you're wondering why the funny vanilla English accent, that's exactly why. Today, I want to actually talk to you guys about something that a new perspective that we bring into market, something that we're calling the AI data lake. Now, to start though, I'm going to take a step back and maybe do something a little bit interactive. When you look at this picture, can anyone tell me, what do you see? A little louder? Bird? Batman? What? Batman? Okay, Batman. Oh, very good, very good. So, in case you guys are wondering, right, this is probably famous. A lot of you probably seen this before. You probably don't know what it's called, right? This is something called the Rorschach inkblot, named after Hermann Rorschach, a famous psychiatrist that started that put into practice this inkblot back in the 1960s. And it's actually used to evaluate emotional state and personality of his patients. Now, why did I bring this up? Well, I brought this up because of the fact that, one thing, he looks a lot like Brad Pitt. So, in case you're wondering, what do you see when you see that Herman picture? I see Brad Pitt sometimes. Now, the real reason why I brought that up is because of this. MIT conducted a really interesting experiment called a Norman AI. Now, this is done by MIT as a research project. Now, what they've done is actually taken an artificial intelligence algorithm for visual recognition, and they started training 2 copies with different data sets. First set, normal pictures, birds, dogs, human being, friends, family. Second set, car accident, fire, murder, accident. Right? The idea here is, can we actually train an AI to become a psychopath? So here's what happens when I actually expose the inkblot to the AI after extensive training. Now the inkblot test consists of 10 different pictures, and the inkblot for standard AI, you see a group of birds sitting on top of a tree. For Norman AI, a man being electrocuted and then somehow catches to death. Second inkblot, normal AI, a couple of people standing next to each other. The psychopath AI, and jumping from the floor window. Okay? Now, you can tell the English is not perfect because it is actually an AI run that's actually doing this. Next inkblot, let's see, a person holding an umbrella in the air. Second one, guess what? Man shot dead in front of his wife. Interesting. Now, why did I bring that all up, you wonder? Well, there's actually 2 messages there that I want to share with you. Number 1 is the notion that it doesn't matter how good your algorithm is, if the data is incomplete, if the data is incorrect, you're going to get bad AI. That's the first part. Second part is that there are actually a lot of innovative projects that you can do with machine learning. And when you're doing those projects, you need a platform that can support that kind of experimentation. And that kind of brings me to the concept of the data lake. Now, many of you have probably heard of the term before. Usually it's a collective of technology, right, meant to handle vast amount of data. Now, as technology transforms, we're generating more and more data every day. And because of that, we need to create a platform that can handle that data set and learn from it. So, ideally, what you're trying to do is do what's on that right-hand side, is to create a data lake that's agile, that supports agile data acquisition, so I can find my data really quickly, store those data in this natural format, but still give me the same kind of access that I want and allow me to start experimenting with it. Now, I can't really start talking about, now a little bit on a perspective in terms of where data lake is going. My apologies, can you turn this down a little bit? It's a bit too sensitive, I think. Yeah? Better, I think. Data lake growth is coming to AP in a significant way. This is a recent research. It's showing that, in fact, Asia Pacific is going to experience the highest growth in terms of data lake investment in the next 5 years compared to the rest of the world. We're very rapidly going to catch up to what the established, the North American, and the Europeans are actually doing, and potentially surpassing that. Now, that's an interesting thing because if you think about it, all of us are thinking about investing in data and AI. So creating a data lake is a big part of it. Now, obviously you can't talk about data lakes without talking about Hadoop, right? Who knows what Hadoop is? Anybody? This one I'm definitely got a couple of raised hands, right? Absolutely. But here's the thing, right? Hadoop was invented back in, first released in 2006, and it became kind of the de facto standard of creating a data lake. From that perspective, it was great at the time. It was the best technology for distributed computing of massive volume of structured and unstructured data. At that point in time, it was the right thing to do. It was a perfect tool for what was available. Now, there was a few things that it didn't do so well. For example, it's supposed to be cheap, it's supposed to be easy, but over time, other technologies actually come and surpass that. So if you start looking at a lot of cloud providers and what they're providing today to you and to us, is the ability to store data cheaper on cloud object storage, to be able to process data a little bit faster using Spark. So over the last 10 years, while technology is evolving, Hadoop is slowly being replaced by other technology and enhanced by other technology as well. In a data lake, there's still a space for Hadoop. Hadoop is very good at handling batch jobs, jobs that takes a long time, high volume of data. But when it comes to interactive, and when it comes to machine learning and experimentation, simply put, other technology that cloud provider can provide today actually outpace Hadoop in terms of its capabilities. And it gives rise to this notion of a cloud data lake. Now, it is a little bit of history. We started maybe with the traditional data warehouse, where we're doing BI and we're doing standard analytics. And then, as I said, around 2008, 2010, people really started to pay attention to Hadoop and created this concept of Hadoop data lake, with distributed computing, promise of structured and unstructured data set working together. Now, it was a great thing at that point in time, but as I said, over time, some of those technologies has come along and made some new changes. Today, if you go to talk to any cloud provider, IBM, Google, AWS, Azure, they will all tell you the next generation of data lake or what have you is something, maybe I'm calling it a cloud data lake here, because I call it cloud data lakes because it's very cloud-like. It has the whole idea of separating compute with storage, away from storage, so you can scale those things independently. Everything is available as a service, so I can scale out when I need. I get elasticity, I have the ability to build big Spark cluster to do compute without growing my storage, because storage can stay the same. Unlike Hadoop, where compute and storage are linked, you don't have to scale them together. You basically get best of both worlds. So almost every cloud provider out there provides that today. And IBM will actually do that and then more. IBM's actually providing that and gives you capability to address some shortcoming to augment what Hadoop cannot do. None of it actually looks after some of the two key elements to succeeding in an AI and a machine learning project: the people and the process. So that's why we want to introduce this notion of an AI data lake, where automation and machine learning is not just being created, it's actually being used to deliver trusted data to the customers or to yourself, to deliver trusted data to the organization so you can start experimenting without fear of training a psychopath AI. Right? You want to know where the data is coming from, you want to know that you have a complete picture, and that is what we aim to deliver by not just gathering data together, but actually creating tools and automations and machine learning tool set that helps you access that data easier. And when you're ready to build your own model, you want to be able to build that model, but then allow you to deploy with confidence. Again, using machine learning and using automation to monitor the performance of your model, to make sure that it's doing exactly what you want it to do, and it's not going out in the middle of the night and murdering people. So they got that joke. Damn. Bad delivery. So that's why we brought in this notion of an AI data lake. Now, this is a classic data lake implementation that you might be seeing today. Right? This is what you may have behind your data center today. There's maybe an enterprise data warehouse, maybe some level of Hadoop available for the archival data set, maybe some data marts for reporting, and maybe some level of governance being built in. Now, that's what was that might be state of the art today, at least on an on-premise paradigm. But when you talk to a cloud-based paradigm, things has already shifted. So I want to talk a little bit more about what are driving forces behind these changes. Number one, people want sandbox to do exploration because you want to be able to have your isolated environment that you can play around with, install different libraries, use different versions of Spark, different versions of Scala. That's something that Hadoop cannot do because Hadoop is one big cluster. If I deploy one library, it ends up propagating to every other node. So the ability to isolate your sandbox is becoming very difficult. The ability to have an enterprise-wide catalog that looks after all the data sets so I can find the data that I need very easily, and then providing access to low-cost storage so I can play with more data. Now, some of those things are coming up in a massive way, and when we're going through the AI data lake transformation, there are three things I want you to think about a little bit. The concept of data as a service. Right? It's making it accessible and fast. Now, that's the first part. But the second two is what's really interesting. Now, these are the new industry catchphrases, if you will. Anyone heard of data ops? Okay, some people already heard of data ops. Well, ML ops. Both of these notions are similar to DevOps. You guys must have heard of DevOps at this point, right? It's about the continuous delivery of application to your organization. That's a well-established application development type paradigm. What's coming up now, and you can go into Wikipedia, Google, all the industry players are talking about data ops. The ability to deliver trusted information at scale across the entire organization is the process behind it, is the capabilities that you lend to it that allows you to deliver that trusted data to everyone, and to do so using automation, using machine learning, using auto classification of data sets. That's what data ops is all about. On the other side, even a newer term, something that only seen in the last couple of months, ML ops. Once you deliver the data, you start building your machine learning model. Very quickly, the industry is recognizing the fact that we need discipline on how to use those models and put them into production. And ML ops is all about being able to create the models, put it into production, let the data scientists work, but then monitor for performance, retrain when it's necessary, and then monitor it for biases. Remember the Norman AI that I talked about, the MIT experiment. There's a classic bias built into that particular AI. To be able to detect that there was a bias, and that the bias came from a skewed data set, allows your data scientists to experiment more freely, because knowing there's actually capability to help you monitor that. That's what we aim to deliver with this new AI data lake concept. The tools that helps the people that enforce the appropriate processes so that your organization can start delivering success. So, some of the major things that are shifting and changing the architecture is our cloud experience. We talked a little bit about that. Compute and storage being separated. Those are the two cloud, the cloud data lake concept. Kubernetes and containers, you already heard from my Red Hat colleague in terms of how important Redshift as a tool is for the enterprise transformation. So that's also coming in. But of course, you start to have to look at real-time data as well as machine learning and AI. So from that perspective, I want to then very quickly talk a little bit about what it is exactly that you're getting when you move from a Hadoop data lake to a cloud data lake. So first step, here's some problems with Hadoop data lake. I mentioned before, multi-tenancy is really a myth because you have a monolithic cluster where every library on every node must be the same. I cannot experiment. There can only be one tenant, really. Everybody must work on the same environment. Second, horizontal scaling, while it's there, it doesn't have the elasticity that today's cloud use cases demand. You have to scale up the whole thing, but good luck scaling it down, so it's nearly impossible. Here, when we talk about cloud capabilities, moving to object storage and so on will allow you to do that very easily. And then Hadoop workload really, except for some of the batch workload, most of it is moved over to being executed on Spark anyway. And if you really watch the trend, even Hadoop providers are saying that you should run your workload on Spark. Right? They're telling you to run it on their Hadoop cluster, which I don't really get, because realistically, if you run on a Hadoop cluster, all you're getting is HDFC. HDFS, my apologies. I'm thinking about a bank that I work with in India. My apologies. What you're really getting is HDFS, but that's not really offering much value. So the idea here is to say, let's connect your compute directly to object storage. S3 enable object storage, and IBM, what we want to do is deliver that to you on cloud, on premise, and everywhere. We wanted to create a platform that works with object storage, as well as it does with Hadoop, HDFS, or any other file format, so that you can get access to that data. But by separating the two, it means that my storage is dictated by the amount of data and the retention requirement that I have. The amount of compute is dictated by how many business initiatives you have. So where you want to get to is this world, where you have shared compute hardware with cloud object storage as the backend storage, and then on demand, using OpenShift and using containers, I can create clusters that are isolated by Kubernetes namespace. Libraries on each of these clusters can be different. They do not interfere with each other. They actually work together in a single environment, sharing hardware, making it more effective, making it more balanced and cost effective. Now, I'm going to run a little faster because I'm actually running short on time. Next step, now that you've kind of looked at the cloud piece, why not let's look at the entire AI data lake picture. What else are we doing? Now, this is a picture that I actually used last year. I can actually take credit for this because I actually drew this picture on a napkin, and then our graphics designer did a great job touching it up. Now at the time, there's no data ops and there's no ML ops. Those terms didn't exist. But the idea here is that you have some intersecting development cycle that goes on. On the left-hand side, you have creating application in DevOps, capturing requirement, and that data in terms get generated into your data lake. And on the other side, you have this whole concept of I got to deliver a machine learning model and insight. So I have this notion of continuous delivery of application, continuous delivery of insights. Nowadays, you can probably look at these as an ML or data ops practice. So how do we help? So in this platform that I'm proposing, right, as part of our reference architecture, these are things that I think is necessary to support data ops. Catalog to be there, self-service ETL tools, data virtualization to make everything appear seamless. What this does is give you agility. It means that you don't do ETL from day one. You virtualize the data. I leave the data where they are at. I create a single interface that you can see the data as if they're one big repository. I only start moving the data in ETL and do all that work when it's necessary. I do not do it for the sake of doing ETL. I do ETL because my business requires it. So this whole set of capabilities is meant to support data ops, if you will, and that should be your part of your AI data lake. Now, second aspect, of course, is how do you support data scientists in their ML ops capabilities? And here's a set of capabilities that allows you to build the model with the tools that you like, open source tools that the data scientists would like to use. Then deploy it onto Watson machine learning so you can consume it across the entire organization as API and so forth. Monitor, retrain, do all that work. And then finally, Watson OpenScale, create trust and accountabilities. This is where the bias detection actually takes place and everything else. That is blinking really fast. So here is the reference architecture for an AI data lake. There's a lot of things here, like the message hub to deliver real-time capabilities. I highlighted two things in purple because those will sit typically outside as an independent part of the architecture. Because you probably already have a new cluster, you probably already has an enterprise data warehouse. We're not saying that needs to come into the platform. All these capabilities that's meant to deliver this AI data lake, we are actually putting that out into the market as microservices. As a platform that includes these services, you can turn on the service that you need when you want it. We're not saying buy everything at once because that's not how we work today. Look at your current data lake and your data lake capabilities. Look at what's missing. Switch on the services that you need to fill in those gaps. Right? That's what this is allowing us to do. So we delivered this in a product that was mentioned before in one of the previous presentations, Cloud Hacks for Data. It's a collection of these capabilities that you can you can actually purchase it together. You only pay for what you use. There are add-ons that you can actually enhance it even more. And more interestingly, this set of capabilities is also delivered as an integrated solution called the CloudPact for data system. Now, that just came out in July, and at this point, I know I'm running very late. I'd like to invite Kun Pru Adi from BPPT to come up and join me on stage. He's the Director of Information Technologies and Communication. Please, a warm round of applause, please. Welcome. Thank you. Now, the reason why Pru Adi is here with me is because he's our first client who actually adopted this particular platform just maybe a few weeks ago. So with that, maybe I will hand over the floor to you. Maybe tell us a little bit about what BPPT actually does.
Okay, thank you. So BPPT stands for Badan Pengkajian dan Penerapan Teknologi. It is an Indonesian government institution. This is an agency for assessment and application of technology. So our job is to promote innovation. So therefore we provide many industrial laboratories, including IT, mechanical, biology, and etc. Also we provide expertise in several areas, including in IT. And also we do some special jobs, special tasks that our president asked us to do. This will be the
Okay, so I understand that one of these special jobs that the president has asked you to actually embark on has a lot to do with AI. Now, in your journey, in terms of starting to do that evaluation, what have you found to be the typical challenge of company maybe trying to start their journey around the AI initiative?
So recently there is a presidential decree number 95 2018 about e-government. In that decree, President asked us to evaluate the AI in order to improve the public services. So you know that public services is must be improved, and we have the data from social media, of course, for the feedback quality of the public service, and also from centralized application called Raffles. So we have two kinds of data. One is unstructured from social media, and another is structured. So we need something that can mix data. That's why we choose.
Great, fantastic. So maybe in the interest of time as well, I just wanted to maybe ask you to share your view with our audience who may be just starting their AI journey. What would your advice to them be in terms of creating the ecosystem necessary in Malaysia to maybe further the AI initiative that the president is interested in?
Yeah, so there's many project and vision how to improve the government using AI. First of all, of course, the public services, and another is about the natural disaster prevention. Also about health. Somebody asked about connection, satellite connection. We have a lot of puskesmas in remote area, and we build some kind of telemedicine who need satellite communication. But I think that using the AI we can help that kind of project. We can infuse the specialist knowledge in the system in the remote areas.
Okay, Kun Pru Adi, thank you for choosing IBM as a partner in your journey to AI. Thank you very much. A round of applause, please, to
Thank you so much. Now, this pretty much concludes my presentation. I'm a little bit over time, but we will be spending some time, of course, next door after the final presentation in the pavilion area and the expo area, and I will be there. Hopefully, I get to see some of you guys and maybe discuss some topics that you're interested in. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kitman. Thank you. Right. Our next presenter, Alvin Hill, was an amateur boxer who has an unbeaten record, even until today, 6-0. I'm sure his presentation will pack a punch today. I can tell he is sporty, because I've been admiring his Air Jordans there, which you'll see in a moment. So far today, just to recap, we have heard the what, the why of AI. Now let's see how we can deliver magical results. Alvin Hill!
Selamat siang. Nama saya Alvin Hill, and I actually live in Jakarta. So I'm Jakarta's digital practice lead for IBM here. I live in Kemang. So you heard a great deal of information from my colleagues. I'm the last one before lunch. I can tell by looks that you want me to get through this, and I will. But I'd be remiss if I didn't have an opportunity to speak about how to get started, right? You heard about all the technology from all my colleagues, how to utilize AI, how to get AI and data to work for you. But we haven't really done much about, I've decided I want to use the technology, how do I start? You know, so that's where I come into play here.
What a world we live in. A world that's creating AI-enabled everything. That's generating 43 million terabytes of data every day. That's democratizing the power of cloud computing. A world that has more IoT-enabled objects than it has people. Technology today is smart, but is smart enough? You have to know how to apply it, how to train it, how to trust it, to make it not just smart, but secure. So let's get to it. Let's do more than create smart technology. Let's put smart to work. Let's put AI to work to help fight 357 million cyber threats to keep the world's data safe. Let's put blockchain to work in 2 billion shipments to help ensure food safety and eliminate paperwork. Let's put the cloud to work for 36 million passengers to help make every flight a little smoother. Let's put quantum computing to work for 75,000 developers, scientists, and students to help solve the unsolvable. Let's put smart to work for telecom and transit, for banking and biochemistry, for farming and pharmacology, for accounting and the arts. Let's build smarter businesses armed with intelligent platforms, intelligent processes, intelligent people. Let's build a smarter future, not just for a few of us, but for all of us. Let's put smart to work.
Okay, I love starting with that video because it kind of gets you ready, it gets you geared up. And so these are some factoids. 20% of the world's data is now searchable and growing. 20% is not a huge number today, but just think about that. And growing. So we're at the point now where we can search structured data and unstructured data. So these are some examples of some businesses who are taking advantage of the data that's searchable. and becoming, what's important, it's an incumbent disruptor. So what's happened in a lot of your industries is people have come in and disrupted startups. There are opportunities for incumbents to disrupt. And one of the main ways is to use, the gold that you have, the oil that you have, which is your data. Glean that data into insights and be able to make better decisions, new decisions based off of that. So some examples here would be DBS, which is when in India it's mobile only. So think about that, mobile only in India. No branches, no paper, no signatures, and you're a bank. Another prime example is Muji. So Muji we're very familiar with their brand. The products that sell 3 times more are the products that their customers with a design focus have helped design. So they have designers who design products, but it's found that when they have their customers involved in designing, they sell 3 times as much in terms of revenue generation. And then Caterpillar is good too. So a lot of companies are making a switch in their business model. They're switching from being the manufacturer of big equipment to being a provider of IoT connected services. So that's a change, and they're using their information, their data to make that shift. So simply, how do we get started down this path? IBM Garage. For those of you who haven't heard about it, it's a term that really excites me. Because what we've finally done, is enterprise design thinking we've talked about before. I recognize a few of you, you've heard me talk about it. Agile, the notion of distributed agile, people not necessarily sitting together, co-located, DevOps, and then just as important, talent and digital change. Well, what the garage is the convergence of all of that. And IBM is the first to have converged it all and do it on a global scale. So again, we're not talking about anything new, but what we're talking about is how we use our frameworks and how we mingle it together to produce something more powerful than the parts. And that's essentially what Garage is. So, IBM Garage is the approach to co-creating the future together. Then it's co-executing with agility. So it's still holding on to the premises of Agile. Agile is still a linchpin to how we get this done. And then cooperating to deliver this at a global scale or regional scale. And it's with the speed of a startup, and that's what we're talking about, being able to execute at the speed of a startup, even though you're a larger organization oftentimes, and with the scale of a large enterprise. And it's the convergence of those that make up what the garage is. So a good client example that I wanted to share today was Volkswagen We, because they've really embraced this notion of we. Literally, they reached out to the IBM Garage team, and a garage is exactly what it sounds like. You go into a formal physical location and you build something, and a finished product comes out of that garage. Something of demonstrable value comes out of that garage. So Volkswagen's partnership is called Volkswagen We, and they noticed that, hey, we're a top 3 company in terms of manufacturing automobiles. We have a lot of data. Everyone always tells us, hey, you should use that data. You should do something with that data. But they don't know where to start. And that's how IBM got involved. So we've been working with them for a little over a year now, working side by side with them. And really we're churning out product that allows them to utilize data in their vehicles, that allows them to get a peek into their customers' world, but more importantly, it allows the customers to be a part of the Volkswagen ecosystem. Additionally, it's generating revenue because there are partnerships that Volkswagen is able to get as a result of some of the apps that were being built and some of the experiences that we're delivering. I want to show it. It's best to come from them as opposed to me, so I want to share a video. on the product.
See this huge screen here? This is where we will integrate the experience. The app that we jointly developed will be in the car on this display. Volkswagen realized we want to create the mobility ecosystem of the future, but we can't do this on our own. We need strong partners for this. The exciting thing from the start for me was that when we put those three parties together, IBM, Aperto and Volkswagen, it was a we. It was immediately a team.
And I think the fit was quite obvious. Volkswagen with great customers, great cars, entering the digital age, and IBM with technology, bringing great systems and services to life.
Here we found a place where we could bring together two huge global players, Volkswagen and IBM, to create new product, innovative business models. It was like magic. And what counts really for me is saying innovate like a startup, scale like an enterprise.
I think this is what we three parties bring together. So first of all, creativity, methods, technology, and really the power to bring this to the market.
To me, we experience is the perfect addition to Volkswagen, the digital ecosystem for the mobility of the future. The service really addresses one of the key needs of the driver, which is to have a relevant service, a relevant offer in real time, personalized and geofenced.
We as IBM are very proud to be part of the We family and
couldn't do it without
put smart to work.
If you remember back in the beginning, we said this is going to be a real partnership. A real partnership means shared risk, shared revenue.
It's not a project, it's a venture that we're running together.
So, Stefan, this is the brand new Tourer rack. See this huge screen here? This is where we will integrate the experience.
With AI, we can really make a difference. So we learn about typical behavior and preferences of the clients. Then we can give really personalized offers.
We is a movement. It's not just a brand. It's not just service. It's not just an ecosystem. It's a movement, and everybody can be part of we. It's a wrap.
No, it's not.
I can't say it. I know, right?
Okay, so as you can see, as I mentioned, it's truly a partnership, and it's a continual partnership. So let's talk about the journey. You know, how does Garage happen? You know, what's the step 1 through end? So you start anywhere. No two projects are alike. No two initiatives are alike. Essentially, anytime you have a business challenge that you want to address, you can start it in an IBM Garage fashion. So again, those three things, we'll start with the first, co-create, envisioning the future. So the entry point is you've identified pain points. Customer-centric, client-centric pain points that you want to address. You come together and we kind of define the problem, better understand the problem, and then we kind of begin to understand what are some things we can do to affect change on those pain points that our customers are having. That's when we begin to form with this solution. Hopefully this one solution of many would begin to look like. Then it's about iterating the MVP. So again, in a natural way, nothing is large. We're not talking a huge project where you start in January and in December you produce something finally. That would be doing it wrong, or would be doing it not the most effective way. The way this works is you kind of determine where you start in terms of delivery, a subset, and you deliver, you create. And that's called your MVP. You can iterate on your MVP, but it's really about this MVP in itself showing value. So the data, you know, that we use is still coming into play here, because we have to understand the value of what we're delivering, even at an MVP level. So that's the iterating to MVP. And then finally, there's scaling this thing. So we've delivered an MVP or a couple of MVPs. It's very valuable. It's addressing the challenges that we've identified with our customers, with our clients, with our users. Now we partner together to figure out how do we scale this across our enterprise. And that's this notion of cooperating and scaling the market. So again, with me, if you don't remember anything about me on this stage at all, the most important three things are co-create, co-execute, cooperate. That's what the garage is in the simplest, most rudimentary terms. So, I've also been tasked with teasing the rest of the day. So this is what we'll be doing for the rest of the day. We'll break into our tracks after we break. So track A is about collecting and organizing data. So the people who would be in that track would be your CDOs, your architects, your IT managers, your database managers. They're all about figuring out how to gather the data, whether it's structured or unstructured, so that we can begin to get it somewhere to use. And then track B is about analyzing data. So these would be your chief data scientists, your analytics officers, your developers, your analytics managers. And this is about getting the data to be actionable insights. How do we get to that point with our data? Track C is modernizing, all about modernizing. So these are your CIOs, your chief data officers, your executives. And this is about making the data ready for an AI in your multi-cloud world. And finally, track D is about infusing AI into your organization. These are your CDOs, your chief operating officers, your chief marketing officers. So this is about scaling AI across your business. Okay? And then the final thing that I'm supposed to be here aware of is that we have an exciting event at 3:15. It's going to be Coffee with Tawfiq Hidayat, and it's entitled Get Inspired. So I'm really excited about this. So he's an Olympic gold medalist, multiple-time world champion. And it's going to be real good to hear his message as he has a conversation over coffee up here. So, okay? So with that being said, I think next we're breaking. I appreciate being up here. I look forward to having conversations with you individually and in our tracks. Thank you. Terima kasih.
Lunch is served, as you know, but there's going to be some cool demos next door. There's some partners from IBM, some fun stuff. There's going to be an AI challenge where there's some gifts. Can I just remind you of the tracks? So you have some knowledge here. So the tracks up here. Do we have the track slide? Yes? Do we have the track slide?
In the middle. The middle. Track A, Singapore Diamonds.
Oh, sorry, yeah, couldn't see them. So, we have track A, it's in the Singapore room, and it's diamonds. So, in your lanyard, it's diamonds, yes? Next one, track B is in the ballroom, here, and that's spades in your lanyard. Track C is in room Paris, that's clubs, again, you already know that. And lastly, track D is in the Dubai room, and that's hearts, okay? Don't forget to fill out your feedback forms, and then also after lunch and after your tracks, there's going to be some more cool stuff in this room later on. Thank you.